everyone, and welcome to another Sovereign Citizen Sunday. How's everyone doing? Hoping you're having a wonderful day so far. We have some updates for you on the $1 trillion Sovereign Citizen litigant. Spoilers. He gets arrested, and he's upsetty spaghetti. We have all sorts of other Sovereign Citizen nonsense to get through. Should be good. We're also doing a Patreon and YouTube member-only stream after our regular stream for the day. So if you're a YouTube member or a paid patron, be prepared for that. It'll be about 10-15 minutes after the regular stream. I think we're going to watch another public domain movie, as we usually do. So it should be fun. I do want to also let people know that Marcel, this is just sort of a general update because we can't watch this together today. But you know how Marcel had his whole new team and I was like, oh, I give him 2 months tops. I was being generous to Marcel. It's been less than a month and he already fired the guy because he got sick. And Marcel decided that you can't call in sick. You're fired. And he then uploaded a 5-hour freakout stream. And by that I mean, he literally got on stream and freaked out and yelled at everyone and said he hopes everyone dies for like 5 hours. So I'll be downloading that and editing it because it's full of slurs, and we're probably going to do a stream on that because it's a lot. He talks all about tons of people. He names me multiple times. He's very mad at me. He talks about how he's entitled to castles. He goes through a list of a bunch of the women he slept with, and how he, quote, used to pay some of his employees, quote, with dick. So, yeah, we're gonna cover that once I can download that and edit it down to, something that's a little more advertiser-friendly. So, should be good. I'm only an hour into it, by the way. There's 4 more hours left. I've only listened to an hour. 1/5. And those are the things that he's talked about. At least a few of the things he's talked about in the first hour. But yeah, that's for another day. Today we have the update on the $1 trillion SovCit. And a bunch more. Should be good. He admits to crimes. Oh yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I sent it to Trey earlier, and Trey's listened to some of it. It's out there. It's bad even by his standards. Pretty out there. Anyway, so let's get my housekeeping out of the way, my calls to action or whatever. If you're on YouTube, do me a favor and like the stream. Even if you're watching the VOD, it helps. Just give it a thumbs up. If you want to support the stream, you can always get a membership on YouTube, use a super chat on Twitch. You can always become a subscriber or gift subs or use bits, and I'll definitely read bits messages. We're also getting higher on our tip goal, our $1,000 tip goal for edited content, which is, I think, the first stuff I'm planning on doing is that Tin Files series. Where I want to start looking at some of the conspiracy theorists I cover more in depth, just sort of a profile on individual theorists. Altered Undying with 40 bits says, hey Hannah, I'm looking to become better with editing. Let me know if you need help. You can consider it a donation unless it makes you feel icky. Honestly, you know, you might be able to give me some advice because it's been a while since I edited, and I'm looking into maybe finding a new editing software because the software I used to use is like, it was fine for what I was doing, but I just want to upgrade, I guess, because I used to use Power Director, the paid for Power Director, but at this point I could be doing more than that, so looking into what editing software to get. Anyway, all that out of the way, let's just get into it, shall we? Thank you for being here, I appreciate you. And, yeah. Let's start with... We want to start with the $1 trillion lawsuit guy. Maybe we'll wait just a little bit to make sure everyone's here who wants to be. Altered Undying says, I use Corel, not sure it's the best, but I'm learning how to use it. Okay. Okay, we'll save him for a little bit later. Let's do this one up first.
To the channel, it's me, Chris Brooks. I hope everyone's keeping well. In today's video, we are going to challenge a deeply embedded societal assumption, and that is that the state has the power to license our way to travel. At the heart of this is a fundamental liberty to travel freely, to move freely, one that has been recognised in common law for centuries and up.
Yes, but not necessarily by specific modes of travel. We've been over this.
Upheld by constitutional
Is this another person whose whole career is being bolstered by their English accent?
human rights and legal principles alike. But here's the key argument: travelling is not driving. Whilst driving is a regular...
Right, but driving is driving, and that's what you're doing when you get behind the wheel of a car and operate it. So, sorry to break that to you.
Commercial activity, travelling for personal and non-commercial reasons is in fact a lawful right that no statute can convert into a mere privilege. And so in this we will...
Incorrect. If you want to use the public roadways, it is legal. It is lawful for them to require licensing.
Explore compelling case law, timeless legal maxims, and international human rights declarations.
You know who doesn't find this case law particularly convincing vis-a-vis your right to travel? The Supreme Court. They're kind of the ones that matter in this, you know?
To show how licensing schemes, fines, and stop and search practices may constitute as unlawful overreaches by the state. This isn't just legal theory, it's a strategic, lawful stance rooted in centuries of jurisprudence and civil liberty. So let's...
That's a lot of words to say. I don't know, I looked at some legal documents and I think I cobbled together an argument. I'm not a lawyer, but I think it sounds good.
Break it down step by step. And thank you to the PMA where I got this from. And I'm hoping to have David on very soon to talk about the PMA, Private Members Association Group, where there's lots more of this that can be found and utilised for your benefit.
Private members associations are similar to the societies thing that Marcel does. Again, it's this idea that they have that you can create some sort of legal entity or organization that operates outside of the jurisdiction of the government of the land in which you're residing. For Marcel, that's Canada. In the United States, it's the United States government. But either way, that's not how it works. Just because you create an organization within the United States does not mean you are separate from the United States just because you are an organization. Your organization exists inside the United States, under its jurisdiction. Just because you've created a separate entity does not divorce it from that jurisdiction.
So let's have a look.
The right to travel
Hey, Afghanistan.
is a fundamental liberty, and under both common law and constitutional principles, no statute or administrative body can lawfully convert a right into a privilege
I really wish they'd stop with the AI.
and then demand a license or fee for its exercise. Now I'll construct the strong...
Like, I have very carefully in my life tried to avoid AI stuff, but unfortunately, because my work is basically looking at and talking about crackpots, I come across it daily because crackpots love AI because it produces low-effort slop. And that's their bread and butter.
strongest possible legal position, grounded in constitutional law, common law, human rights law, and UK statutory interpretation, to refute the idea that driving, as distinct from travelling, is a regulated privilege, and assert that travelling is a right, not a
But what if they want to be separate really, really bad? I don't know. 2 reallys won't do it. Maybe if they had a 3rd really, maybe then they can be separate.
privilege granted by the state. Foundational legal position, the right to travel.
Sheesh, can I just skip back to the human being? Oh wow, he doesn't talk until the very end. See what I mean? Like, 2/3 of the video is just AI slop. Like, these videos are already pretty low effort, to be honest, the sovereign citizen stuff. And he can't even do that. He has an AI voice produce the majority of the video. What are we even doing? Like, the scammers don't even have the heart anymore. it possible for civilization to collectively have an existential crisis all at the same time?
So there you are. Let me know what you think in the comments. I hope you found that of interest.
You didn't even add anything! Fucking lazy scammers. Alright, we could probably catch up on the $1 trillion lawsuit guy now. 6 minutes. It's a little small here. I know Van Balian covered it and had it in fuller screen. Maybe I'll take a look at the Van Balian.
I'm not telling you again.
Failure to... I'll gladly just share it on you where this guy's game without the video. I have a one only per when you... Who...
Nah, we'll do the smaller one. I don't want to skip through Van Balian stuff. You'll get what's going on. You can see enough of it. Green guy with the $1 tip says, I thought AI was cool for about 2 weeks, then I was over it, and I'm still waiting for everyone else to realize it's not special. Alright, so $1 trillion lawsuit man. You guys might know him as Real World Lawfare, or no, sorry, Real World Fair, I believe is his name on YouTube. We've covered him before on Sovereign Citizen streams. He has been pulled over in his, I think it's like a Mercedes SUV or a Lamborghini SUV. It's some sports car brand, but it's an SUV. And he does the typical sovereign citizen thing where he doesn't think he needs license or registration, stuff like that. So he was pulled over previously and given a ticket. His car was impounded. He ended up getting his car out of the impound. And he instigated a lawsuit in which he was seeking $1 trillion in damages from the city and the officers who pulled him over, again for not having like a license plate and stuff. He's a huge jerk about it. He's incredibly overconfident, and of course he assumes he's right. Now what I didn't mention in the meantime, because I didn't find out about it until recently, is that he also got a warrant for his arrest. He got a bench warrant of some kind. I assume he had a court date or something that he chose not to show up to, and he got a bench warrant. So, he's still driving around, traveling in his mode of conveyance, if you prefer, still driving without a license, still driving without a license plate, and wouldn't you know it, he happens to drive right by the same cop that pulled him over the first time. So, let's see how that went. There's also aftermath videos.
Who told you to stop me and call me out on my first name and say that I have a warrant when you don't even know me personally? That means you're
personally. I've arrested you.
You don't know me personally. You're a public...
He knows you professionally, and this is professional. He saw you because he was doing traffic like observation, and he saw you still doing the illegal thing and went, wait a minute, I know that guy, he has a warrant, and he pulled you over. You were also, once again, sans license plate, which you need. So, multiple reasons for him to pull you over.
servant that's harassing me, Eastwood.
Are you going to get out of the car?
I need a lieutenant, please.
You're not going to get a lieutenant. You're going to get a sergeant.
Who's the sergeant going to be? The same sergeant that's on the federal lawsuit that it's been named in?
No.
Eastwood.
I don't know anything about all...
I should point out that I don't believe these federal lawsuits have gone anywhere. Like, he keeps filing stuff, but the court, I think, is denying them by and large because it's sovereign citizen bullshit. Phoenix 2250 with 32 months says, I have nothing clever to say, just thanks for creating such a great community. It's my safe space. No problem. Thanks for being a part of it. I owe all of you a lot. I really do. I hope you all know I appreciate that you, like, hang out and watch stuff with me.
Eastwood, I'm not complying until I have a sergeant, please.
Complying.
A sergeant. I'll gladly just speak to a sergeant.
Okay, you're probably going to get out of the car.
I'd like to speak to a sergeant, please. Because you are harassing me right now, sir.
I'm not harassing you.
Yes, you are harassing me.
I'm not.
Did you know it's harassment to pull someone over for doing illegal shit?
You are harassed. I'm not a U.S. citizen. I'm not.
They really need to stop saying that. I know I'm kind of like beating this dead horse over and over, but especially in this day and age, telling an officer that you're not a United States citizen is really not a good idea. You're gonna get deported. You're gonna get sent somewhere without due process, and you might never be seen again. So I wouldn't recommend it.
Not under your jurisdiction. I'm just
Okay,
a
we're not
national.
gonna go down that road again. I'm telling you, you have an active warrant for your
For
arrest.
what?
I already told you. I'm not telling you again.
Failure to present a license is not a crime, Eastwood. That's not even.
It is if you are being pulled over in a traffic stop, which you are, so yes, that is unlawful. You were incorrect.
Crime. It's vehicle code 12951B. If you have a license in your possession, you fail to present it to a police officer, then it is a misdemeanor.
Let me guess, he's gonna say, well, I don't have a license because I don't need one.
What? Eastwood, if you're compelling me to have a license because all you're gonna do is pull me over and harass me like this, then that's not a crime, sir. That's just.
Are you compelling me to have a license? Yes, the law is coercive by its nature. You are correct. Pointing that out does not make the law stop functioning.
Just targeting
You
you.
nicely to get out of the car.
Eastwood, this is harassment.
That I guess he would say, what? No, because I don't even know what he's confused by. Everything he said made sense.
Please stop harassing me. All I'm asking to do is speak to a sergeant.
Okay, well that's fine. Get out of the car. You
All
can
I'm
do you
asking,
want.
all I'm asking to do is speak to a sergeant, Eastwood.
Sergeant!
So get out of the car.
I don't
When
feel,
you get there, you can
I don't feel safe with you.
talk. Okay, well everything's on camera, so there's no
I don't
reason
trust,
not to
but
say-
I don't trust you. You're already saying that you're making stuff up.
I'm not making anything up.
At what point did he say he was making
Pulled
stuff
you
up?
over for license. And because you have a
Listen,
warrant.
You had no front plate. You have some tint, and you have a warrant.
You're
for
just
arrest.
making stuff up as you're making stuff up as you go,
He's not making it up. He had a warrant.
Eastwood.
I'm not.
I've sent in paperwork. You guys have received
I would definitely believe he didn't have a license plate because he says he doesn't need one. Don't know about the tint. Haven't seen the outside of the car.
that paperwork. All of this is valid.
Okay,
You were a sergeant in the army. That counts, right? I'll count it.
sergeant's here. Sergeant, this is Mr. Walker. He has a misdemeanor warrant from the case.
Mr. McCoff, can I speak to you, please? Because this gentleman right here is named in a federal lawsuit, and he's harassing me.
Sure, anything about that.
He said, can I just say my sentence?
Absolutely.
He said he knew my
He's harassing me.
name before he even pulled me over, which means
Yeah, he knows who you are because you have a warrant. He pulled you over previously and then you didn't show up to court or something along those lines, probably related to that case. And then he saw you again. He recognizes you from that traffic stop. It's a memorable one. You're a memorable guy. You're saying pretty out there conspiracy Sopsit stuff. Of course he remembers you.
he's literally targeting
You also are trying to sue him for $1 trillion. He probably remembers that.
me. He's named in a federal lawsuit right now with Judge Wesley Sue, and there's actually an ex parte injunction and restraining order against this guy.
He filed a request for a restraining order that the court denied. And not just like, oh, it's in limbo. Literally, it was already denied by the court. So no, there is in fact not a restraining order. He tried to get one, and the court said, no, what are you talking about? M. Scheffler, thanks for 40 months, says, hi all. Hello, how's it going? Thank you so much for your continued subscription.
There's literally, if you just Google Kevin Walker versus Chad Bianco, you'll see there is literally a restraining order against him. So he's
Again, no, you filed a request for a restraining order. That was denied. That's not a restraining order.
violating the restraining order by even speaking to me because of
Did he just assume that because he filed it, it automatically must have gone through or something?
this very harassing nature that he keeps going.
Moira Soma, thanks for gifting a sub. I really appreciate it. We're actually behind on gift subs for the month, so if you like the show and want to support it, consider gifting subs. It's very helpful.
He said he pulled me over because I didn't have front plate, I didn't have tint. Oh no, actually, you have a warrant for. He literally is
To be clear, you do have a warrant, though. You have a warrant. You think
targeting
he
me.
psychically, like, what do you think? You think he made it up and you just happen to also actually have a warrant?
No. I told you I was working the stop sign. I pulled someone over about 5 minutes prior to pulling you over. I'm just doing enforcement at the stop sign. I saw you come through the stop sign. I recognize your vehicle.
See, he
I know that you have a warrant
recognized
for
my
your arrest.
vehicle.
I know you have a warrant for your arrest, and as well, I noticed when you went by, you have no front plate.
Somehow he knew. Somehow he knows
That's
I
it.
have an alleged warrant for the arrest for the sake.
Hold on. Your name's Kevin, right?
My name
It's a me! Thanks for gifting a sub, and Barely Breathing, thanks for a 5-string streak.
is
Hype train started, very nice.
Kevin.
Okay, hey, I'm Sergeant McCall from the Sheriff's Department.
Yes, sir.
All right.
I'm in fear of my safety right now because that gentleman.
And that's why I'm here, okay? So, my deputy noticed that you had a vehicle code violation. He initiated a stop.
He
all
said.
right? And then he was also aware that you have a warrant for your arrest.
How does he know I have an alleged warrant, sir?
Okay, my dispatch confirmed the warrant.
He-
So what I need you to do is I need you to step out of the vehicle so that way you can get your warrant dealt with, okay?
What's the warrant for?
Vehicle code violation.
12951B. I've told you this 4 times now. 4 times.
You see the attitude, sir? I'm trying to have a cordial conversation because you guys are trying to kidnap me right now.
No, we're not. You have a warrant for your arrest, so we just need you to step out of the vehicle so that way we can deal with your warrant.
And what would be dealing with it?
Okay, well,
You going to the jail, getting booked for the warrant? What are you talking about?
you're probably either gonna get cited or arrested. Either way, it leads to an arrest. I need you to step out of the vehicle for me, Kevin.
Okay, can I call my attorney or my father? Or,
You'll have the opportunity to contact your attorney once you're under arrest.
and I'm gonna be under arrest for not giving you a license that I don't want?
I don't know what the bit is, but I won't fall for it, person in chat.
You're compelling me
I don't know what the bit is.
under color of law, sir.
Per the California Vehicle Code, if you're an operating motor vehicle in California, you need to have a driver's license.
Deputy how do I pronounce it?
It's Sergeant McCall.
McCall.
Yep.
Thank you for the follow, but I am sus.
Are you aware of the Constitution,
I await the other shoe.
sir?
I am, and I've been through this many times before.
So
what I
I'm-
need
so-
you to do is I need you to step out of the vehicle.
So I just want to know, are you telling me that I have to, under color of law, regardless, have a driver's license?
If you're going to operate a vehicle in California, you have to have a valid driver's license. Yes. So do me a favor and step out of the vehicle for us.
You're not conducting any duties because this gentleman has already confirmed.
Kevin.
Deputy, I have the right to ask a question, don't I?
Of course you do.
So
But
so
you
you're
can
so
also
so
step
so
outside
just
the vehicle.
but once I'm out the vehicle, you guys aren't gonna listen. You're gonna put me wherever you're gonna put me, and you're gonna silence me. So I'm trying to get this out on camera now because
Alright, I don't know what the deal is with this person, but, definitely some wind up for a troll thing, so banned.
because there's a federal lawsuit that's already active.
Alright, I gotta go back. I was distracted, sorry.
You're not conducting any duties because this gentleman has already confirmed.
Kevin.
Deputy, I have the right to ask a question, don't I?
Of course you do.
So
But
you
can
so
also
you're
step
so
outside
just
the vehicle.
but once I'm out the vehicle, you guys aren't gonna listen. You're gonna put me wherever you're gonna put me, and you're gonna silence me. So I'm trying to get this out on camera now because
I don't mind what-
because there's a federal lawsuit that's already active.
Do you think that because you have a federal lawsuit that you filed, you can just, like, break the law randomly?
Regardless of what your lawsuit is, you have no front plate. You have,
That's-
dispatch has verified that you have an active warrant within California. I need you to step out of the vehicle for us.
Can I finish my question, sir?
No, we're past that. I need you to step out of the vehicle for us.
I don't feel safe with this guy.
By not coming out of the vehicle, you will be in violation of 148 of the Penal Code.
I'm not saying I'm not gonna come out. I'm just trying to ask.
Saying, Kevin,
I'm telling you, he's intimidating me in a tactic to where he's too aggressive. Look, he has his hand. Why does he have his hand on his weapon?
Kevin,
Why does he have his hand on his weapon? Why does he have his hand on his
listen
weapon?
to me.
Why does he have his hand on his
That's where
weapon?
his hand is at.
93%
That's
level 1 on the hype train, by the way?
Intimidation.
Because he is watching while I'm speaking with you.
There's nobody in the car but me.
Kevin, if you do not get out of the vehicle, you are going to be charged with 148 of the California Penal Code.
Hello,
It's
Holiday
obstructing resisting
JJ.
a peace officer.
How
You
do?
just step out of the vehicle now. If you do not, it is going to be an additional charge instead of just dealing with your warrant and your vehicle code violation. So do me a favor, step out of the vehicle for me.
You guys are crazy, man. I'm only doing this under threat and duress, and you're
That's fine! They always say that! It's fine! It's fine that you're only doing this coercively. That's what the coercion is for. Correct. Minute left on the hype train.
literal coercion, okay?
Yes! Good! You wouldn't do it the other way, so that's fine. Moira Soma, thanks for gifting a sub and getting us over level 1 of the hype train. So after he got booked in the jail for this misdemeanor bench warrant, I assume for not showing up to court, though I'm not for sure, he did some videos because, of course, he's salty and won't admit he did anything wrong. 22% to level 2 on the hype train.
All right, y'all, so here's an update. I was recently harassed again by the bozo Deputy Eastwood, who
Oh, got him. He called him a bozo. How's he ever gonna recover from that one? He's a real bozo.
literally already admitted on camera that he knew who I was before he stopped me
Yes, he's allowed to know who you are and still pull you over when you are observably doing something illegal.
That's the targeted harassment. He's enforcing.
He targeted me. The police are targeting people with active warrants. Can you believe it? I've been targeted just because I happen to have an active bench warrant.
A void ab initio warrant that was issued by a.
Let me guess, he's asking for $1 quadrillion this time. See, this is why you don't start at $1 trillion. You gotta lowball them at, like, I don't know, 800 billion. And then when they start harassing you, you slowly raise the bar. You already started up here. There's no room to grow whatsoever.
Commissioner who does not.
Like the Joker in The Dark Knight, you never start with the head. The victim gets all fuzzy or whatever.
Not have my consent in any way, shape, or form to use me as surety or to proceed in any manner. But despite the Constitution, despite the verified affidavits, the verified notices, demands, and everything that's been sent, these commissioners in the Riverside County State Court, they're deciding to try to railroad me. So
they're not railroading you just because you're losing. He thinks, at some point he talks about his dad too, which just makes me feel like my feeling that he's like this weird Nepo baby. I think my vibes are correct. I think his dad has saved him in every situation in his entire life, and he genuinely does not understand that rules apply to him, and that's why he acts this way. Overthought with 100 bits says, if it's a small enough town, or he only travels in certain parts of town, of course the same set of cops are the ones that are gonna arrest you. Yeah.
Next step is federal court. We already have a federal lawsuit that's been drafted against all of them, of which they all are just remaining in dishonor and trying to ignore. You can see
they're in dishonor. My goodness, that's not a legal term. 27% to level 2 on the hype train.
In the video, he acknowledges the lawsuit, but then tries to double back and say, I don't know anything about that. Right. So what we're going to do is we're going to drag his ass into federal court by filing a notice of removal for this garbage state proceeding they have. Me failing to identify to an officer, failing to provide a driver's license, allegedly, when I don't want said driver's license. I've already.
Not wanting a driver's license doesn't make it not a legal requirement while operating a motor vehicle on public roadways. I get that you don't want it, but the fact that you're saying, I don't want it, is a tacit admission that you were breaking the law because you don't have one, and one is required. So you're admitting on camera on the internet that you are guilty. Congrats! You're the worst defendant ever. A minute left on the hype train.
Canceled driver's license by the way of an affidavit. I've rebutted all presumptions. I've already rebutted all presumptions of me being an alleged U.S. citizen, a ward of the court, an ens legis, or anything of the sort. But through malpractice, through outright deprivation
He can tell it's malpractice because he's losing.
of rights under color of law, fraud, RICO charges, and everything else that is bona
I promise it's not Rico.
fide and proved, these guys continue to do what they're doing. And every single deputy I spoke to, they don't care. They just give you the quote of, I'm just doing my job. AKA they're acting under color of law willfully and intentionally, and they have.
That's not what they said. They're not agreeing that they think it's illegal like you do, so that doesn't make it color of law
No
just
remorse
because you don't like it.
For it. They don't care about the Constitution. They don't care about upholding it. So Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, and POTUS, I don't know what you guys are doing, but they don't care about the Constitution. And the fact that Pam Bondi and the FBI and Kash Patel allow this to continue means they don't care about the Constitution. So they're just all full of shit. So it's up to me to handle my own stuff. So notice of removal. This is going to federal court. I'm going to file a completely separate federal lawsuit now against everybody involved today, since they want to continue the bullshit. And then
That'll be worth your time. Is he trying to break the record for world's fastest vexatious litigant motion?
we're going to sue Miranda Thompson, Michael Hestrin, Monica Bermani, Jeremiah Raxter, who's not even an attorney. He's not a real judge. He's a attorney posing as a commissioner, calling himself a judge in state court. Charles Johnson, and whoever else is involved. They're all going to get sued in a brand new federal lawsuit. and we'll go ahead and remove the current lawsuit that's in state to federal court, which means they get stripped of their jurisdiction and they're gonna have to go to federal court and talk this same nonsense. So we'll see. I want to see them go to federal court and say that the Constitution doesn't matter in front of an Article 3 judge, and that none of the United States Code matters, and that they just somehow have jurisdiction over me despite all presumptions being rebutted. And
there's no presumptions to rebut. They have jurisdiction over you because you're within their jurisdiction. Jurisdiction is authority within a certain area. It's not relative to the person. You are in the area that they patrol. You're under their jurisdiction.
them having no valid
Amber,
contract beyond the ones that they're compelled.
what did you miss? $1 trillion lawsuit guy got pulled over and arrested for an active warrant, and now he's crying about it and saying he's gonna sue them in federal court again, but even harder.
Telling me under color of law. We'll see how this goes.
If U.S. law has no jurisdiction over him, how does he have standing to sue in U.S. court? Because he gets all of the rights and none of the responsibilities.
But, yep, got released, I don't know, 3-4 hours later. I mean, come on, it's nonsense. A void ab initio warrant by some alleged trying to be putting on a robe but not really is a judge. Some fake attorney with no
Again, the judge is a judge.
bar license, pretending to be a judge. He's not an Article 3 judge. None of these people are in state court. Not even a magistrate judge. But somehow they feel they have this.
So does he just believe no state judiciary should have any power? Seems like he just thinks the only judicial authority should be vested in federal courts and federal judges? Question mark?
Supreme authority over everybody out here.
I assume his tune will change when the federal courts also slap him down, and I'm assuming he's upset with state courts right now because they're the ones currently telling him no.
And this is what they like to do, especially in Riverside County, California. They like to railroad you, deprive you under the color of law, violate your rights just blatantly, snicker and laugh about it. But we'll see who has the last laugh when these guys are in federal court talking about all these felonies that they've been committing. All the
felonies they've been committing. Never mind the laws he's been breaking.
felonies. I think it's like 20 to 100 plus years they might be looking at.
Yeah, you hear that? You're gonna get 100 years in jail for arresting him. He's super confident about it. The lawyers he's giving money to keep saying he's so smart.
And granted, they want to keep messing with me and just keep harassing me on simple shit like driving down the street.
Illegally, without license, without a license plate, with a warrant.
He already knew who I was before he even pulled me over and then tried to, you have...
If I am a cop and I happen to recognize a guy and it's bank robber Jones, he's famous for being a bank robber and I know he has an active warrant and oh boy, look at him going into a bank with a ski mask and a gun. Just because he knows the guy doesn't mean he's harassing him by following him into the bank to see what he's up to. Literally, you know you had an active warrant. He recognized you. He's like, that guy has an active warrant. He arrested you. You literally had a warrant for your arrest. How can you, in any universe, pretend you were being harassed?
Tint. It's factory tint, dumbass. You want me to take the window out of the Lambo? Got it. But
How
see,
was the date with Baja? It was good. It was fun.
you already knew who I was, so you didn't have any real interest in the tint or the lack of plate on the front of the car, which
I think he did, but also the warrant is kind of like on top of all of that, right?
is a victimless crime lacking a corpus delicti. There is no injured party in me having factory tint on a car or not having a plate on the front. The real thing is you have been monitoring me like a piece of shit stalker, Deputy Eastwood. You
I don't think he has. It's... what?
ran my information when I wasn't there. You found out that your little corrupt-ass buddy in state court put out this bogus-ass warrant.
If it was a bench warrant because you didn't show up to court, he probably knows about it because he was in court when it was issued, most likely. Like, if there was supposed to be a court date for the previous thing, he was probably a witness, and in court or in a Zoom call for court, and they called your case, and then you weren't there, and the judge went, all right, bench warrant. And he would have seen all of that. That hard to understand? Amber with 45-bit says, I know we've said this before, but jurisdiction is kind of a brute fact. That's to say, it's self-justifying. We talk about consent of the government, but the reality is that the government has power because if you disobey, you can and they can and will kill you. Consent of the governed, I assume is what you meant. You don't have to like that. You can be an anarchist like we are, but you have to acknowledge reality. You can't change the flaws in the system if you simply decide the system you don't like isn't real. And I've said that many times. Sovereign citizens, instead of just saying, I don't like how the legal system works, which would be their right. There's tons of problems with the legal system, with policing in particular. I would agree there's problems, but instead of recognizing those problems for what they are, and then trying to come up with actionable solutions to change how the system works, they just go into fairy tale land and just decide the system I don't like doesn't exist. It's denial in, like, the craziest sense.
Right. And then you
I reject your reality and I substitute my own, is basically what they cast there.
decided to track me down and do this. Like this was going to change anything. The only thing it changes is the amount of effort I'm going to put into making sure you get proper adjudication and justice.
Oh, were you, like, half-assing it before? That's weird.
In a federal court. So I want to see you come into federal court now when this gets removed and I filed the other lawsuit, and so now you have 2 lawsuits against you plus this one in federal court. I want to see you come before an Article 3 judge and tell this Article 3 judge that the Constitution doesn't matter.
That's not what he's saying. That's a complete straw man of the officer's argument. The Constitution explicitly gives states the rights to regulate their own affairs, and in this case, how they regulate traffic and how they regulate access to their roadways is within their purview.
State Constitution doesn't matter. That you are this all-supreme God above law, because that's what you're saying.
That's weird projection. You're the one saying that. You're the one that thinks no state law applies to you. You're the one. What are you talking about? Uno reverse. No you. What are you talking about?
And I want to see you state all of that in federal court.
Why would he state that? That's not his view. That's not his opinion.
Meanwhile, I'm going to continue to do the same exact shit that I've been doing. I'm going to send you guys affidavits. I'm going to create the record. And you guys
all right, and you're going to keep getting arrested if you keep doing illegal shit.
can continue to act in fraud and under color of law all you want. And we'll see how it all turns out. Because I've injured nobody. I've done nothing. I'm living my life. And you're just mad that I'm telling people the truth.
You're just mad. You just hate us because you ain't us. They hate our freedoms. That's always a justification that comes off as legitimate and not at all some weird hope.
You're mad that I'm not just bending the knee to your garbage ass. But no, man, you're what's called a public servant.
And yes, they are. They're serving the public by getting your dumb ass off the streets. Yes, they're serving the public. You are not the public. You are a person.
Public servants. That means you're supposed to serve the people, not harass, stalk, extort, coerce, and rob the people. Not lie, not commit felonies every day, turn on emergency lights when there is no emergency, stalk people. It's all crime. Those are all crimes. But okay.
It's all crime. They're criminal.
Deputy Eastwood, you got it, man. Federal court, here we come.
I'm sure that'll go well. And then we have one more video from him that's only 3.5 minutes long.
Here's another one. So I gotta say, people are stupid. Like, they're just dumb. You can cite the Constitution, the state constitution, the United States Code, the UCC. It doesn't matter what you cite. Law.
You're citing things, but you're citing them incorrectly, is the issue I assume you're running into.
statutes, codes, constitutions, trust law, private law, contract law. But no matter what, people just refuse to even engage their own minds. They're just beaten down.
What a huge asshole. Oh, you can tell, can't you? You can tell this is someone who never admits wrongdoing ever. They're never wrong. It's always someone else. It's always something else. You can, like, smell it on them. It's crazy.
Down
The entitlement is just absurd.
like horses that have been whipped, and they just comply. They're indoctrinated into doing whatever some random person on the street says if he flashes a badge at them, simply out of fear and cowardice. I mean, state of California, state of Nevada, these are foreign corporations.
They're not. If states domestically within the United States are foreign, what does domestic even mean? If states in our own country, talking as someone from the United States, if territory in our own country is not domestic and is it instead foreign, what even is domestic? Like, what do words mean at that point? You know what I mean? He's not using foreign in the literal actual meaning. He's using it as a thought-terminating cliche because, ooh, foreign equals bad. I think this thing is bad, so I'm gonna attribute it to foreign influence. It's fucked up.
Foreign. Straight up foreign. And their agents are the attorneys. These are foreign agents. By literal function, if the courts are franchises of said foreign entity, which is state of California, state of Nevada.
They're not. It's not a foreign entity. It is literally the domestic government of that state.
If the United States is a federal corporation and the
United States is not a federal corporation. The United States has federal corporations like the FDIC, but the United States federal government is not a federal corporation in and of itself. Federal corporations are a separate thing.
state of is a subsidiary of that same foreign corporation, and these agents are their agents, officers of the court, then they're all foreign agents. I mean, it's in the Constitution. It literally says all this. State constitutions exist for a reason. But again, people just refuse.
State constitutions exist for a reason because states are their own sovereign entities in and of themselves, but collectively they are still under the umbrella of the federal government.
To even use their damn minds, and it's crazy. Somebody can come on TV and say something and they'll believe it within instance. These people
When you should watch YouTube and believe what people say on there, that's much more legitimate.
will go off, they can read 1,000 books, they can read the Constitution, state statutes, codes, United States codes, everything, and then have some attorney, some retarded, scandalous,
Strike one?
indoctrinated foreign puppet come in and say, hey, that's not real. And they, oh, okay. All their critical thinking
Here's the thing, it isn't real. It isn't real, though. You can tell because you keep losing and keep getting tickets.
just goes right out the window. It's like if you were to measure how much of their brain they're actually using, it's probably like 15%, maybe 5%. Like,
Oh, he thinks that you can measure brain usage by percentage. Like in, what's that movie with, is it Scarlett Johansson, where she, like, she uses 100% of her brain?
these people,
Lucy, thank you. Limitless did something similar. I hate that trope. I hate that trope that, like, oh, you only use 10% of your brain, or you only use X% of your brain. That's not true. Like, there are different parts of your brain that are for different functions. You don't want your brain to be lit up all at once. If you did that, you would be, like, having a seizure, basically. Can't just activate your whole brain. It's a series of on and off switches that mean things. Not just all supposed to light up all at once. That would be bad.
see why they call them wards of the state. Incompetence. Legally disabled people. Minors. Because truly, they're all dum-dums. Running around talking about people are soft sits and what is...
You are a a sov sit. Stop doing it. If you don't want people to accurately describe you, then stop it. Stop it now.
It's a sob sit. You don't even know what you're saying. You're just regurgitating shit like an idiot. It's funny. Truly is. But yeah, man, I just had to say it's mind blowing how stupid people are. Like, truly. I pledge allegiance to the flag for the republic for which it stands, and they don't even believe in the damn republic. Like, they literally have shit right in front of their faces.
The fact that we exist within a democratic republic doesn't mean laws don't exist. The fact that it's a republic is evidence that the states do have their own powers to regulate things within their own constituency, within their own area, like traffic laws, for instance.
And they don't even know how to read or decipher it. I get that these courts and these attorneys are speaking legalese, but damn, what does legalese have to do with actually being able to use your brain to read a statute or a law that says, you know, any person shall not be, and not understand that that means any person shall not be subject to whatever nonsense it says. Instead, you have an attorney come in and say that that's not real, and then they just believe it. Mind-blowing shit, for real.
Such an interesting fella. So that's what $1 trillion lawsuit man is up to. Let's take a look at some other SovSit stuff that I collected for today.
Do you think that you have the right to travel? You're damn right you do, and why? Because you travel with common law and you have the right to travel freely and unencumbered pursuant Shapiro versus Thompson. And that right is yours, and it's so basic that it doesn't even need to be mentioned. So what happened?
Except you can't use public roads, car on it. Travel, not by car on public roads. I know I just repeat myself, I'm sorry, but they just say the same stuff.
Was your state arbitrarily and erroneously converted your right into a privilege and issued a license and charged a fee for it. Murdoch versus Pennsylvania says no state shall convert a liberty into a privilege, issue a license and charge a fee for it. Shuttleworth versus Birmingham, Alabama says that if a state does
Hey Nemesaur, how's it going?
convert a right into a privilege, you have the right to ignore the license and engage in your right with impunity, and the judge cannot punish you. So those are just 3 Supreme Court cases that show and prove you have the right to travel. But in their
Weird that the Supreme Court doesn't say you can drive without a license, though. In fact, they've said the opposite. Crazy stuff.
little game, he who does not claim his rights has none. So bottom line, you have to claim your rights, but if you do, you need to be prepared to fight for your rights. They are not just going to let their slaves go easily. They will put up a fight, so you have to be prepared for that. So if you're
I find the concept of rights really interesting in how we use it, especially in the United States, because the Constitution is put up on this borderline, like, mythic religious level for so many Americans. The term rights has been so diluted that it's become effectively just a rhetorical tool. And I know it's always kind of been that, but I think a lot of people use the term without thinking what it actually means and how absurd it is that we even talk about, like, we have this inborn right, but you have to fight for it. You have to fight for your rights, the party, or anything else. But, like, it's inalienable, except it's been taken from you, so you gotta fight for it. But remember, it's inborn and given by God, but we gotta go fight for this inborn, inalienable right. You know what I mean? Basically a rhetorical tool in which we're describing some state of being that we want so badly that we all deserve it, but we use it in very odd ways. I don't know.
ready to start standing up for yourself and claim your rights, schedule a free 30
Hope the gaming was fun, Nemesaur.
minute phone call with me. We can discuss the details of the Be Financially Free Masterclass in person. The link is in my bio. Look forward to talking to you soon.
This is a guy who I think has continually tried to get the right to travel stuff to the Supreme Court unsuccessfully.
for a driving incident. So
Normal Gamer Gal, thanks for 20 months, says yay 20 months. Yay indeed. Thank you so much for your continued support.
what happened there was that you entered into a contract with the state when you chose to go and get a driver's license. Now,
okay, but that doesn't mean you don't need a license prior to that. That's the whole point of the license.
whether or not you understood that you didn't have to have a driver's license because government cannot interfere with your use of your private property.
They can interfere with your usage of it on their property, and roads are that. They're the property of the state. They're collectively paid for by the public through taxes and stuff like that. But they're still the state's.
Vehicle is your property. That's your private property. It's yours, right? And because it's yours, government cannot interfere with your use of that private property unless
On your own private property, I would agree. So, like, your real property, your home, for instance, the land that you own or whatever, you could be unlicensed and have an unregistered automobile, and you could drive it anywhere on your own property that you want, and the government won't interfere. You do not need a license to operate a motor vehicle on your own private property or someone else's private property with their consent. It's only when you take your private property, rather your personal property of your vehicle, and take it onto roads that are paid for and maintained by taxes owned by the government that it becomes an issue. That's what's being regulated, is your usage of the road, not your usage of the automobile.
unless you enter into a contract changing your legal relationship with the state, permitting yourself to be subject to it. And that's what they claim. They
To be clear by that, I mean your usage of the automobile on the road, not the absolute usage of the automobile. I could have explained that better.
claim that you willfully entered into a contract to obey the state driving laws. But government cannot interfere with your use of private property. So that vehicle is yours. You can do with it what you want.
Let me put it this way. You can own your little Hot Wheel car, all right? You have your Hot Wheel car. That's your personal property. Here's a little Model A or something. I don't know what kind of car this is supposed to be. Let's say this is mine. This is my property. I have this. It's mine. But someone else has a Hot Wheel racetrack that's theirs. Now, I can run this on my own property all I want, but if I want to take my little Hot Wheel car and run it over on that person's Hot Wheel track, I have to make sure that's okay. I have to say, hey, can I put this on there? Because that's yours. And then they say yes, and then I do this on the Hot Wheel track or whatever. You get it. Does that metaphor make sense?
As long as you're not harming someone else, right? And so, but when you enter into a contract with the state to get a driver's license, now, you know, the terms are important because now you're not traveling, now you're driving, now you've entered into a contract that agrees to obey the driving laws, right? And as a result, now you are subject to criminal or civil sanctions.
I appreciate the ominous music he put over it. Even he recognized his arguments were weak enough that he needed to really bolster it with the dramatic backing, yeah?
Should you breach the contract terms that are in place? So, you know, if the contract says I will obey the driving laws, and the driving laws say you have to drive 60 miles an hour, and you're out driving 75 miles an hour, then they could pull you over because that's a breach of contract. And as
It's illegal. It's not a contract. It's illegal.
a result of the breach of contract, now you need to come into a courtroom to negotiate the terms of the breach, right? But where they get you on the second one is your vehicle, your private property. When you take your private property and you register it with the corporation, guess what? Now you're driving for commercial purposes because now that vehicle is a commercial operating vehicle, right? So when the Supreme
No, there are specific vehicles that are commercial, and there are specific commercial licenses that are separate from normal licenses.
Court comes out and says that you can travel for non-commercial purposes freely without a license, when they say that,
Supreme Court has not said that.
well, what they're saying is that you willfully entered into a contract to subject yourself to the driving laws, and then you've taken your vehicle and you've registered it with the corporation, and now as a result of registering it with the corporation, now you are operating for commercial purposes, and now that's not your property, it's registered with the corporation. That's where they get you. Now, the other way that they get you is if you purchase a vehicle, right, and that vehicle is financed, Well, you enter into a contract with that finance corporation, and in that contract it says, I'll have a driver's license, I'll have insurance, I will register my vehicle, and now you are back.
Right, but you need that anyway. I think they're just doing that in part because they don't want the vehicle to get impounded, because that's what the loan is backed by, right? The loan is what's the word I'm thinking of? Blanking today, man. The thing that the loan people will take if you don't pay your loan. They want you to have it so they don't have to deal with the cops and stuff if it gets impounded. Collateral, thank you. The loan is collateralized by the car.
Bound to certain obligations because of that particular contract. If you want to avoid the contract, you cannot enter into a contract with a finance company, because obviously the finance company wants to proliferate this whole concept, because this
I think they just want to protect their investment.
is all about the banking institution. So when you agree to finance a vehicle because you don't have the money to be able to pay for it, and you agree that you're going to go to this bank and ask this bank to go to your SESQV and pull from your QSIP from your...
It's not about the SESDK Trust. The SESDK Trust does not exist. They are loaning you money. They are outright loaning you money that you did not have.
Own account, and then they give you the money so that you will...
This is the stuff that Cataspinda believed that made it so she lost her house. It's important to point out that that's not true.
Sign an agreement to get a driver's license, get your registration, you carry insurance. Those things you don't have to have unless you're in a contract with them agreeing to do it.
Is this Marcel? No, this is not Marcel.
So
This is a different shiny-headed fella.
this whole system has been set up to confuse you into not realizing that vehicle is your property. You paid for it with your money out of your account, and you went to someone else and agreed to certain terms that you're now bound to follow as a result of nothing more than them wanting to proliferate this ignorance that exists. So what happens then is that in order to not be subject to those particular laws, two things has to happen. First off, you have to remove the contracts, which means that that vehicle can't be registered. You remove it from the corporation. That's my vehicle. I own it. You, corporation, have nothing to do with this. Now it's my personal property.
Okay, but then you can't drive it on public roads, because that's one of the things that they make you do to drive it on public roads, is to have it registered with the state, you know, the people who own the roads. So all you've done is make it even less legal for you to operate on the roadways. You're doing the opposite of what you say you want. Just a Peach with a $1 tip says, I think a lot of Sovsits are those kids that were told everyone has to share, but never understood that included them. They would just put their Hot Wheel on your racetrack and tell you to suck eggs if you said no. Never heard a kid actually say suck eggs. I wish I would. That would be a funny moment.
Property. I can do what I want.
I hope he looks like little kid, what's the guy who played fucking Alfalfa? But as a little kid. Maybe it was the other one. Not Alfalfa. The other one. Mickey... something, maybe.
With my personal property, government can't interfere with my use of it, and then you must remove your driving status, right? I'm not a driver. I don't have to have a license. I'm not going to have an agreement with you, state, because I have the freedom to be able to...
Yeah, I was thinking of the original Spanky, I think. Who played the original Spanky from our gang? He grew up very famous. He was in Breakfast with Tiffany's. No, it's not buckwheat. I'm not talking about buckwheat.
Operate this private property in whatever way I see fit.
He was in the Phantom of the Megaplex.
Will choose to be obedient to your laws out of love, faith, and obedience to my fellow man, meaning that I'm not going to drive in a
All
reckless
of you
manner.
are wrong. Maybe, I think I'm thinking of Mickey Rooney. Mickey Rooney's who I was thinking of.
I'm going to drive consistent with your laws because that's what my fellow man has said that he would like to do, and I'm going to willfully subject myself to it, but I'm not going to be subjected to it under contract, and that's a very, very important point. Now the second thing is that in order for this to work, right, we need those that are in a position of authority to understand that they're exceeding their authority when they breach the...
Is this a bubble pipe? I think so. It came with a Sherlock Holmes hat that I bought. It might actually be a regular pipe. You could smoke out of this like a real pipe. It wouldn't be very good and probably be microplastics. But this part's actually metal that the pipe tobacco or whatever else would go in. So I think it's an actual pipe. Probably not one I would use, but
The obligation. They believe that they can do these things because that's how it's been done for 100 years. And it doesn't matter how long it's been done or how many times it's been done. Wrong is always wrong. And if you're doing things wrong, prosecutor, you're doing things wrong, judge, then it's still wrong. And it can never become right.
Put bubbles in and see? Do you think I just have bubble fluid in my house? Also, frankly, you know what's going to happen if I put bubble fluid in this and then blow? It's just going to blow bubble fluid everywhere. And then where will I be? Not entertaining you, be cleaning up bubble fluid.
So we need something that's going to wake them up to a massive scale, but you guys got to get out of your contracts, and that's what I'm trying to do here is we can void these contracts by voiding the state laws, and that's what I'm doing here at the Supreme Court. We're
Bubble fluid is soap. You're soap!
extremely close to it. You know, I'm using one specific mechanism, the indictment by the grand jury, and the breach of obligation as a result of the failure to
Wow, he's just keeping going, huh? Oh, he's got a whole other video. Opening remarks to the Supreme Court. I didn't know the Supreme Court was allowing you to just make random YouTube videos for them now. That was nice of them.
This is a letter of introduction. 243 years ago, a great and powerful nation was established.
It wasn't really that great or powerful when it was established. Americans really have a weird boner for their own, like, civic mythology. Like, I don't got anything inherently against, like, America as an historical institution. I mean, I do have problems with it morally, but, like, historically it just is, you know? It just is. People put a lot of their identity into America, and I don't think that's healthy. Oh, I already read that one.
Through the faith and fury of God in defiance to acts of oppression and abuse, which are contrary to the natural fruits of freedom. As a result, great men arose, awake to
Have I seen the pic of Tom Hiddleston as Data? No?
new vision, a free one, where all citizens
He would probably look pretty good, though. He's got the body tape for it.
are bestowed certain inalienable rights from and by our Creator. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness are not simply terms that are extended to the wealthy. They're not table scraps that are fought for as they fall from the table of the successful. No, they're freedoms that are bestowed to all, regardless of age, race, wealth, intelligence, or history. It's the ability to visualize a dream of one's future and the power to then manifest such a dream. Success and failure is upon the individual and not the government. Limitations come simply from a person's inability to dream or the sins of oppression.
What an interesting viewpoint in which seemingly everyone's success is determined by their own will instead of any sort of framework to allow success to become accessible to people. It's a very American idea.
Today, we call these men great, heroes, forefathers, and patriots, and they become symbols of our pride and our aspirations. George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, James Madison, and so many more who are worthy of our mention and obliged to our eternal gratitude. But the story could so easily have been different, for before these great men were called patriots, they were called rebels, criminals, and tyrants. Their vision was dismissed, and their cause was laughed at. But they knew something that no one else did. They had a power that none of their enemies understood. It was the power of God and truth. Indeed, our nation was founded by rebels, and today, by delivery of this notice, and the presentation of irrefutable, reasonable, sound, just, and clear violations of the rights bestowed upon us by the United States Constitution and as designed by our Creator, new rebels have now emerged. But not to destroy a nation, instead to work together to bring about positive change and correct the flaws in our foundation so that no more will justice not prevail. No more will the innocent be punished. That we will return to the roots of our nation's freedoms and the source of our once great hope. That God Almighty is the only true and righteous judge, and that in His glory and in His power, guilt and innocence can be ascertained.
What does that mean? You're telling a court that there's only one judgment and it's God? Sir, that's not what we're here to talk about. Your personal religious beliefs don't belong in the courtroom.
The petitioners included in this written allegation are not only witnesses to these atrocities, but each and every single one of them have also been victim to them many times. But we are all very proud to claim that the blood of those rebels who fought to earn our freedoms 243 years ago is the very same blood that runs through all of our veins. So you can call us rebels. You can call us criminals. History, however, will call us patriots.
What if I call you a psycho? I don't think that was on your list.
United we stand, but divided we fall. A great division has been placed across our nation, weakening our greatness and threatening our very existence. Am I not your brother? Has God not commanded your forgiveness and his vengeance? Is not your crimes perpetrated
He
against...
needs to slow down. He has no diction. Green guy with a $3 tip says, Hannah, in the Rockies and West, 70% of land is public forests and parks. So to hunt, you just get a license. East of the Mississippi and the South, 95% is privately owned. And it confuses hunters when they go out west and don't need to own property to hunt.
It's me, not equal to the allegation.
I've seen those maps of the West and how much is, like, public property. Crazy. Did he actually do this? Or did someone just edit? It looks like someone just did an edit. Which, in fairness, pretty decent edit, but definitely an edit.
Of the very same crimes perpetrated by me. How can one claim the rights and ability to judge me for an action to which the judge himself holds more guilt, yet refuses to cleanse himself first?
Think you have to be named Daniel for God to be your judge?
My
It's
brother,
like Bible reference.
first remove the plank from your own eye, and then you'll see clearly to remove the speck from my eye. If you say you want to judge, seek first judgment of your own house, and then you'll be qualified to come and help cleanse mine. With great power comes great responsibility.
Ooh, I remember that one. That's not the Bible, that's Stan Lee.
What is easy is not necessarily what is right, and what is right can sometimes seem wrong. But with God, all things are possible, and with the law, the correct path is now illuminated. This path will not be easy. There will be much work demanded, and many apologies will have to be offered, and that will take much courage. But where courage in its product transpires, strength will inversely come. That strength is the image of forgiveness and not vengeance, the strength to heal a divided nation because of the glorious gift of a new life that God has given to us. To no longer be bound by the sins of our past and accept the freedom of our futures, to truly be able to turn away from our sinful lives because sin no longer has its hold on us, is precisely the recipe that God has prepared in order for the courage and the strength needed to produce this amazing future for our country to now come about. Change does not come without reason. Reason does not come without wisdom, and wisdom does not come without mistakes. For a tree to grow, a seed must first die. The roots of tyranny and depression can amass great evils. From those evils can come...
Did he just say for a tree to grow, a seed must die? The seed becomes the tree.
Condemnation of the innocent, the defamation of a good name, the confiscation of property, or the alienation and destruction of a family. We've been told the truth and the way to destroy evil from the ruler and creator of all. You overcome evil with good, and you never repay evil for its evil. So I implore you, with the greatest convictions that I can muster, grab hold of the weeds that are destroying our nation, take them by the roots of their evil, and let's extract them from our great nation. We who are free can only boast in the freedoms that are real and not an illusion. We're each only as free as the freedoms that are extended to all, and not simply some. Any time of freedom is demanded or stolen from one through justification or ignorance, that freedom and right is lost to all, and not simply the target of scorn and punishment.
I'm not even sure specifically what he's asking for of the Supreme Court at this point.
Any freedom, which can be removed from one, can be removed from all. It is no longer freedom, but simply an illusion of freedom. Evil shows no favoritism. When evil is given birth, it becomes a thief, and once a thief, we all must bear the consequences of its evil thievery. Vengeance solves nothing. Casting blame fails to grasp the greater message, and our mutual hope should be reconciliation, not just with each other, but with the faith and source of our nation's foundation. We are a nation of laws, and those laws are essential to maintain order and peace. But more importantly,
Green guy says, you cannot raise a chicken without first having some scrambled eggs.
We're a nation founded on faith. We must return to...
In fairness, eggs do sound good.
The faith of our design system, a system that sometimes a guilty person may appear to be set free, but more importantly, a system that, if utilized properly, innocent people will not be punished. Today, as of this moment, I can tell you, and I bear my own witness testimony as God is my witness as well, innocent people are being punished because the system is broken, and it is never acceptable, not in any country, state, city, or household, for an innocent person to be wrongfully or illegally imprisoned. Ignorance is not defense. Simply because you do not understand the laws of gravity or believe in the laws of God does not mean that you're not bound by them.
One of these things is not like the other. One of these things isn't math.
Lack of knowledge resulting in a violation does not eliminate you from the ramifications of such violations. The illegal and highly destructive acts perpetrated by the justice system, although I do not believe were intentional or malicious, does not negate their existence. Crimes done in secret and in the dark are still crimes, and justice still deserves to be rendered. However, as a petitioner, I bear great responsibility, and that God desires mercy and not sacrifice. Therefore, peaceful resolution, mercy. For your ignorance, I offer you. In closing, as our brother James told us in his letter, it is sin to know what you ought to do.
Sorry, I know we said it a minute ago, but it's a little wild for him to say God does not demand sacrifice when the Christian God's most famous act is sacrificing himself as his son brutally on the cross.
And then choose to not do it. Everyone makes mistakes. No one is perfect. But the difference between an average and great, a sheep and a lion, is the...
What's he hoping for with this? He's addressing this to the Supreme Court. So I think he thinks he's going to get the Supreme Court to watch his YouTube video and to do something. What specifically? I do not know.
To produce wisdom from one's mistakes. Everyone falls down, but only fools fail to stand back up. A repentant sinner is always forgiven when the repentance is sincere and a new course is charted. But woe to anyone who in their pride and in their arrogance remains blind and cannot feel sorrow and compassion for the destruction that they themselves have caused. May God in his righteous judgment have mercy on such souls. This letter has been prepared in writing in my own hand, but the devastation exists through the lives and painful experiences of each and every single member of the attached petitioner list. Not one person, not one marriage, not one family, not one household, not one city, not one state could claim that the violations of the rights presented and proven within the argument presented has not affected them somewhere or in some way of their lives. When freedom is robbed from those who are free, truly I tell you that everyone pays for it, whether they realize it or not. Respectfully and peacefully, a servant of justice, Tanwood Downing.
I like that he left in him standing up at the end. He really didn't have to. But, I don't know. Bit of flavor, I guess. He's still doing stuff, by the way. As recently as a month ago, he was doing videos, so. Let's see what else we have.
No, I'm not going to provide you anything, bud. No, you guys are illegally detaining me. I have done nothing. I pulled over to the side of the road to make sure that I'm still safe on the road. I have done nothing. You pulled right behind me under what circumstances? What crime have I committed? I have done nothing wrong. You're harassing me, man. That's exactly what you're doing, and I'm not in any way, shape, or form obligated to assist you in your investigation, which means handing you over documents of any shape or form that will incriminate me in court and used against me in court. So I'm not interested in that stuff, man. I know my rights. I know what the law is, and it just saddens me that you're trying to do this tyranny situation, man.
I mean, you already like you people, like don't you
No. I meant, but because you're lying. You just lied about it. You just fabricated. You just fabricated saying, yeah, absolutely.
There was not?
That was fabricated.
There was not a truck behind you? Right before I...
What did you say? What did you say about it? Say that in the camera.
Right behind you, right before I got behind you.
Okay, what happened again? Say it for look, just imagine. Hold on, before you do this, imagine the jury and the judge. We're all watching it.
Yeah, that truck almost hit you.
Okay.
That truck almost hit you because you were parked right here in the middle.
Well, you don't have reasonable, articulable suspicion that I have committed a crime, about to commit a crime, or not committed a crime.
I think he just articulated it. He said you were too far out into the road and you were endangering others because they almost hit you.
Look, if I had a
you were parked halfway in the road.
Traffic infraction, then I understand you can legally stop me. But you pulled against me. I had done nothing wrong, sir. I'm just asking, am I being detained?
Mr. Peach says, do you know you sigh on the hour and several times at the end, about 3 times? No, I sigh a lot. I'm in constant mental anguish. That's a joke. Ha 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 ha.
This moment for what crime?
I'm going to ask nicely.
Yes, sir.
Sir, please. License, registration, insurance.
I don't have to answer questions, and
Sir,
I don't have to provide those documents, man. Look, I don't have to provide those documents, man.
What's that?
I do not have to provide those documents. I don't have to assist you in your investigation. And this is an illegal detainment. Absolutely illegal detainment. I pulled over to the side to make sure that I'm still safe on the road. What is the reason you pulled me over?
I've already said.
Or why did you put emergency lights on? Doesn't make sense. Can I please see your supervisor, please?
I've already said it 3 times.
I understand. Thank you. But it's not a lawful order. It's illegal. It's not a lawful order. You're violating my rights. My rights to be secure in my papers and effects.
Okay,
and
sir, at this point, you're obstructing his investigation, and you can go to jail.
I'm not refusing to do anything though.
I think failure to identify is its own charge. I could be wrong.
But you have an illegal detainment though. I haven't done nothing wrong. Officer, I have done nothing wrong. You guys are starting to escalate the situation into something more. Why are you escalating this to be something more than what it is? You're escalating though. You pulled over to make sure that I'm okay because I'm stopped on the side of the road. That's what you did. And you're using emergency lights. And you guys are, I feel in duress right now. You guys are gonna escalate this situation and you're gonna cause me harm for no reason. I've done nothing wrong.
What do you feel in duress for?
Because you're surrounding my car with guns.
With guns?
Absolutely. Do you have a gun on you? Exactly. You probably have your hands on your guns. Look, I'm okay.
You probably have your hands on your guns. I've seen them be like, why'd your hand on your gun? And I would agree cops have a tendency to like keep their hand on their gun just where they rest their hand, and I think that's maybe a bad habit. I know they're supposed to keep it ready, but like I think the whole idea that everyone's a constant danger to them is part of the reason policing sucks so bad, so. But anyway, I like that he didn't even directly see it. He just said probably.
I'm just saying you guys are violating my rights, and it's really sad to see this happening right now. I have done nothing wrong.
It is my right. It is your right.
What are you guys doing, man? Look at this. How am I not in duress right now? This dude's gonna block me in. What are you guys doing right now? This is insane. I have done nothing wrong at all to deserve this type of treatment right now. You guys are gonna escalate this and make sure that my doors get open. You guys are trying to yank me out of the car. For what? I've done nothing wrong. You guys are going to lose your qualified immunity real fast for this, man. No, you guys are violating my rights. I've done nothing wrong. I have not committed a crime. I haven't did his traffic.
Cops naturally rest their hands on their belt and gun all the time. I know, I said that, and I'm saying that's a bad habit. To constantly have your hand by your fucking gun.
Fraction.
When you're dealing with people, it makes them nervous.
You guys have me pulled over for no reason. You're escalating a situation to be more than what it is. You're escalating it. What? Get the flashlights out of my eyes, man. You guys are. This is tyranny, bud. You guys are violating my constitutional rights right now.
If we have to physically remove you from the vehicle.
Why? Why? For what? What are you guys doing, man? I have done nothing wrong. You guys are gonna lose your qualified immunity, man. Stop trying to. Look, I feel in duress right now. I feel like I have to protect myself.
We don't have qualified immunity.
You guys are going to make me have to protect myself. What are you doing right now?
Oh, don't say that to the cops. That sounds like you're going to shoot the cops. That's not good.
I have done nothing wrong. I had done nothing wrong. I pulled over to the side of the road. I don't understand that. Why are you making it a secondary offense? This is illegal. It's an illegal detainment, though. I've done nothing wrong. You guys have no RAS. Reasonable articulable suspicion. I don't have to provide that though, because this is not a legal traffic stop.
The moment he asked you for it, you have to provide it because he's making it.
It's not a legal traffic stop. You guys keep shining those lights in my face, man. That's crazy. My God, you guys are so. What are you doing, man? You guys are escalating. Why are you escalating the situation though? You guys are gonna try. Why though? What for? But why should I provide that though? I have not been pulled over on a traffic infraction.
Yes, you have.
Drink soda.
3 times now what your traffic infraction for.
Hey, sir.
Okay. I need to speak to the supervisor, please.
Can you hear me?
Please.
Okay? Can you hear me? Okay.
I can.
Okay.
But can I please speak to the sergeant?
What fast food place is that from? I can't tell. At first I thought Sonic because it's one of those styrofoam cups and Sonic uses styrofoam. But I don't think I recognize the logo. It might be a regional restaurant I'm not familiar with.
Please.
I
Please.
know what's going on.
This is illegal detainment.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So, sir, my name is Deputy Brown.
Okay.
Florida County Sheriff's Office.
I'm in duress right now. You guys are surrounding my vehicle with weapons. I'm under duress. I feel for my life right now. You guys are surrounding me for no reason at all.
Green guy with the dollar tips says, Hannah, you know cops have lost their lives in the line of duty. Yeah? Fewer than pizza guys. More pizza guys get shot on the job than cops. What are you talking about? Cops overstate the fuck out of how dangerous their jobs are. It's not fun, but they use it as an excuse constantly to treat people like shit. So I'm kind of sick of that fucking excuse, if I'm being honest. If you don't want to be in danger, don't be a cop. I don't know what to tell you, man. Imagine if soldiers were like, but my job's really scary. Like, yeah, you picked it. Do it, or don't.
Done. I have not committed a crime, about to commit a crime. You have no reasonable articulable suspicion that I've done anything wrong.
Okay.
I pulled over to the side in order to make sure that I'm still safe on the road.
Okay.
And he came behind here to assist me.
Okay.
To make sure that a member of the public is assisted in the situation. Now you're escalating. Look at this, dude. You're escalating the situation to being more than what it is. You guys are violating my rights. This is terrible.
So, sir, in regards to our flashlights, it's dark, obviously.
That's fine, but you guys are doing it on purpose.
Cthulhu Flower says, even if it were an illegal traffic stop and illegal detainment, the roadside is not the place to make that case. Yeah, I would never argue with a cop about this shit, even if I thought I was right. Deal with it in court, in front of witnesses, in front of a judge. Don't try and get in a fight at the side of the road.
Purpose, and it's rude.
No, sir.
I've done no crime, though.
By the way, we're about halfway done with the stream, so if you are on YouTube, do me a favor and hit the thumbs up and give it a like if you want to help support the stream. If you're on Twitch, consider becoming a subscriber or gifting subs. We're a bit behind for the month on our sub goal, so that's always super helpful.
I have not committed a crime or a traffic infraction at all. And you guys are escalating the situation to be more. Now you want to tear me out of the car and get me on the ground? I don't want to be on the ground right now with handcuffs. Why? Why would I? I pulled over to the side to make sure. Did you guys run the plates? Is this car stolen? Is it on Bolo? Be on the lookout? No, it's not on Bolo. It's not a stolen car. I've done nothing wrong. You guys are violating my rights. Now you're going to threaten me under duress that I have
50 bits.
To get out of the car to be and unsecure my papers. No, that's a violation. This is illegal detainment. Absolutely.
So from what I'm understanding,
Yeah.
my partner is saying that.
I've done nothing wrong, though. He came behind me to assist me.
Okay.
As a member of the public.
Can I get your first name, sir? And
No.
so I can call you by your first name?
But that's a violation of my Fourth Amendment rights to be unsecure my personal effects and papers. Why would I do that? This is an illegal detainment. Look at you guys right now. You guys are you're not de-escalating nothing. You're escalating.
Sir, we're trying to talk with you.
I'm talking with you, but you're scaring me. Why am I being scared like this?
Limasaur, thank you for gifting 10 tier 1 subs.
Why are you guys surrounding me, trying to get me out of the vehicle?
So the reason why there's so many of us is because you're not willing to cooperate with us.
I'm cooperating. Look, I have every right to remain silent because this is a custodial arrest. You haven't read me my rights at all. Am I?
They're not questioning you in that way. They're asking for your ID, which you are required to give during a traffic stop.
Being under arrest?
Nobody has to read you your rights unless you're in custody or being questioned for a crime. I don't think that's what's going on here.
Well, like I said, I feel under duress.
Miranda, that's actually what Miranda.
I know, but are you a sergeant? Can I please speak to the sergeant? You guys are escalating this to be more. I don't want to listen. No, because you're going to escalate the situation. You guys are someone's going to get hurt, and I don't want to get hurt.
I am the senior deputy on shift.
I
right
understand.
now, so that's what I'm trying to figure out is what's going on.
This is not cool. You guys are violating my rights. Absolutely. All I did was pull over to the side of the road. I have done nothing wrong. I have not committed any crime whatsoever. You have no reasonable articulable suspicion or to articulate that I've committed a crime, about to commit a crime, or have committed a crime. I'm simply traveling. This vehicle's not a Bolo.
Said it.
This is my private conveyance.
Are you a sovereign citizen?
I don't answer questions.
Are you a sovereign citizen? I don't answer questions. You've been talking a lot so far. Weird that that's a topic you won't say anything about.
Well, if you're,
But no,
if you're saying that you're traveling.
This vehicle's registered, right?
I think so, yeah. I think so.
Okay, so what's the problem? You want to yank me out of the car? Why are you doing that, dude? Why would you want to yank me out of the car for what? So I get on the ground and be in the dirt for what?
Where are you getting that from?
So no one, I don't think
Where's that coming
I just want you to know this is on camera. Just think of the judge and the jury, okay? You guys are violating my rights right now, though. This is an illegal detainment.
Where you said you guys, meaning me as being a black.
But why would you even add race? Who said anything about race?
Who said anything about putting you on the ground?
You want me to step out of the car? No. That's so much duress. You guys are look at you doing. He's shining
So much duress.
right here. He's got his gun right here. You guys surrounded my. You put your vehicle in front of my car. I am so scared right now for my life. Absolutely, that's exactly what I am. And there's so much police tyranny. You guys are doing the same things to these people who don't know their rights. And I'm not trying to look. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to be mean.
His mirror shattered. It looks like it's broken.
Trying to be disrespectful. I know, and I'm not trying to be. And I appreciate your guys.
Like his mirror up here, where when you're in your driver's seat, you have a mirror here. Yeah, broken. Don't know how.
Just doing your job as you do, but you can't just stop. You stop me for no reason at all, and he's trying to. You're fabricating reasons as to why you stop me. That's a bad thing to do, but bad business.
Kevin, calm down.
Monotone voice. I am so scared. That's my favorite moment from Blair Witch Project. I am so scared right now.
Why you won't give them a ID?
Why should I have to? It's a violation of my rights.
It's not though. So
How?
If
What?
If law enforcement is in contact with you for a reason, okay, we have the right to identify who we're speaking with.
Okay, and what? All right.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am. What is your badge number and your name, please?
My name is Deputy Brown.
Okay.
My badge number is B242.
Okay. What is your badge number and name, sir? Okay, and who else is out there that I haven't got that's engaged in this right now? You guys are threatening me right now, dude. For real. I feel like I'm being ganged up. Why are you parking the car? I'm not. Is there a bolo out for me? What are you guys doing? I'm scared. That's why I'm agitated. Yeah. I'm a good citizen. I'm doing my things. I'm driving, traveling, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't matter because I'm not trying to use traveling plates. I have.
Green guy with the $5 tip says, study 6+ years for PhD, join lab, spend years studying problem, form hypothesis, gather evidence, test hypothesis, form conclusion, publish and pass peer review, finding published in press, Hannah on the internet. Bullshit. What am I doing that is in line with that? What peer-reviewed paper am I calling bullshit on?
Illegal reasons to drive on your roads as state employees.
Do you mind if I talk?
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead. It's
You're stating that you feel that you're feeling endangered.
Absolutely.
We're being surrounded, okay?
Absolutely.
That you're being surrounded by us, okay? So the reason why we're parked the way that we're parked is because we have no idea what's going on, okay?
Right.
From what we can see, your windows.
You had no. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but he had no idea what was going on either. Okay. But he came to assist me, right? Well, he pulled over to assist me, okay. But then he activated his emergency lights. For what emergency?
So anytime that we're stopping somebody, whether it's to help them as a motorist.
Okay, but why am I being detained though? Under what crime am I being detained for?
The lady hit a deer today and I put my lights on.
But how does that have to do anything with me?
Why
am I being surrounded over a deer from a lady?
Sir, I just got here.
I understand. Can I please talk to the sergeant though, please? I think I'd feel more. Look, you guys are really scaring me, dude. This is crazy. I think he has his gun on his hand right now. I'm not trying to. I know, but you have your other hand on your gun, bud. Come on, man. You guys are surrounding me with guns. What are you doing?
So, sir.
I have not engaged in any criminality. You're sitting there.
To disappoint you, by the way, they do just let him go.
He's going over every inch of my vehicle right now to find some type of reasonable person. No, dude. No, because
I will say I find it a bit suspect that they won't just say what the reasonable articulable suspicion was. At first, at the beginning, they were saying he was like pulled over, but if they pulled him over, then they wouldn't have had a reasonable articulable suspicion for why to pull him over until he was pulled over. So what was it? I'm not saying they didn't have a reason. I'm saying they should be able to say what it is.
You're not.
And it does feel like they're tap dancing around it.
You're escalating it to be.
To talk with you, but you're not letting me talk.
He's a gun in his hand, yes.
Oh, but you're trying to.
Okay. Anytime that I try to.
And I would agree about the pretending to be scared thing.
Talk, you start talking. Okay.
I know because I'm being illegally detained. That's why. This is an illegal detainment.
This is illegal.
Because I have done nothing wrong. He didn't pull me over for anything I did. Okay. He was here to assist me. So what reasonable?
No, this guy isn't the $1 trillion litigant. We already covered him earlier in the stream.
Articulable suspicion did.
He is parked partially in the street and almost got hit. Okay, I thought they mentioned that at the beginning, and I did say it, but I just don't know why they're not saying that to him again. Like, because he is asking for articulable suspicion.
That I am committed a crime, about to commit. You guys have to have Raz.
Sir, I don't know what he had.
I know, but he doesn't have anything.
We just got called to come down here because of how.
You ain't gonna find nothing, bud. There's nothing in.
Because we see that all the time where sovereign citizens get pulled over and they ask for the reasonable articulable suspicion, and the cop will tell them over and over and over.
Here, dude. I'm not committing a crime. I'm an American like you guys.
Did you know Americans can't commit crimes?
I understand. Oh, no, I just wanted to get a cigarette. I completely understand. But that's the problem, though. See? It's not, this car is fine. It's not, nothing's wrong with this. I'm not trying to commit a crime. I haven't committed a crime. You pulled me over to assist me. That's all.
Sass is I think they've let him suck them into a weird power struggle. Maybe. It does have a weird vibe compared to other Sobsit videos.
It is assistment. And you guys are, why are you blocking me? Like, I'm not a criminal felon trying on the run. I'm scared. Yeah, absolutely I'm scared.
Why won't you provide identification is my question.
Because it's a violation of my rights. It is. It's not. This is an illegal detainment.
So you think that when you're in contact with law enforcement, you don't have to give them your identification?
Why would you ask me that question? You guys know just as well as I do. Hold on, let me reword that. I apologize. I don't mean to come at you all sideways, okay? And I'm not trying to do that. Because I definitely don't want you guys to be breaking my windows, because then I feel endangered and I feel like I have to protect myself. What I wanted to tell you is that you guys know just as well as I do.
Angel of the Grove, thanks for 14 months with Prime, says, greetings from the same town Chief Motto lives in. I'm so sorry. We don't claim him. Oh, no. Is anyone in the community aware of him?
That you have to
Just
have.
curious. Like, is he a known wacko, or is it just an internet thing?
Reasonable, articulable suspicion that a person has committed a crime, will commit a crime, or is about to commit a crime before you can ask for identification. They can. Okay, so why am I being illegally detained? For what crime? I've done nothing wrong. I pulled over to the side of the road to make sure that I'm still okay. I did this safely. There's no pullover to assist me.
Right there. Okay. Left hand blinker on, stopped again on the right. Okay. Then he pulled over to the truck behind him, almost hit him.
No.
He pulled over to the right.
He did not. I pulled over safe. You were behind me, no truck. What do you mean? No,
Same
you were
area as Onision? Wow.
behind me.
Someone check the water table.
All right, well, look, you know, I pulled over just fine. The tapes will show it, right? I drive good.
I drive good. I drive real good.
Did you think that where you parked, did you think that was a parking spot?
No, it's an easement.
Well,
Under.
Where we're at right now is a turning lane. Excuse me, it's not a turning lane. Where we're at right now is the side road, right? This is not somewhere where you can park. From what I'm hearing from Deputy Ball, you were parked on the actual road. Yeah, a traveling road.
No.
Okay, so he was parked on the road.
No?
Where am I at right now? I'm on the side of the road. I'm safe. I've done nothing wrong, you guys. You guys are violating my Fourth Amendment rights, my First Amendment rights, and you know I shouldn't even have to speak to you. I am under a custodial arrest, and because of that, you guys know it's an illegal detainment. Absolutely illegal detainment. I have done nothing wrong. You didn't pull me over for any type of traffic infraction at all. He stopped to assist me because I've done nothing wrong. I pulled over to the side of the road to be safe. That's another thing too. I was trying to make sure I'm safe for the road. The other motorists on the road, and I'm just making sure that everything's cool and safe. And you guys are pulling me over, blocking my car, surrounding me with guns and flashlights, telling me to get out of the car. For what? What felony stop are you stopping me for?
Are they said to get out of the car at all?
We have guns out, sir.
Do you have a gun on you?
I do have a
Does she have a gun on her?
We all
And what is your name and badge number, ma'am? I'm sorry.
I'm Deputy Fowler, badge number 277.
Okay, thank you. Is there any more officers that I need the badge numbers?
We do, yes.
Because you guys are going to escalate the situation. Why are you escalating?
Sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely, that's...
Literally, all he had to do was identify himself, and if he had no warrants or anything, he probably just would have got a warning. That's it.
Of course.
Okay. None of us have them out.
But I'm a member of the public.
None of us have had them out.
I understand, but he's had his hand on his, and I understand he has to kind of be. Look, I get officer safety. I understand it. That's why my hands are up. His hands are there. He doesn't have to speak. I don't have to speak. I don't even have to speak to you guys. I can reserve my right to remain silent and invoke my right to remain silent because I'm being arrested right now. This is a detainment.
Nobody said that you're being arrested. Nobody said anything.
But why am I being detained though?
Because you're failing to provide identification.
Yeah, but that's a secondary situation.
But here's the thing: if you were to just provide it, you would be kicked loose and on your way. No harm, no foul. That's where.
But you're violating my rights though.
No, we're not.
I have not committed a crime at all. I know, but I didn't commit any traffic infraction at all either.
Okay, then why was your
Even being parked here is a traffic infraction.
Because I was pulling to the side of the road. My blinker was on to show the motorist that I'm pulling over to the side of the road. You guys, come on, man. The jury and judge is watching this tape right now. Come on.
Absolutely.
Right? Right? And did you not take an oath to hold to up?
You being parked.
Okay, so now you're adding stuff, and then you blatantly did a fabrication with the truck situation, bud.
That's what I contacted you for, but you wanted to know.
Look, you guys are trying to yank me out of the car. What for? What have I done wrong?
See, for me, it depends entirely on the initial parking situation, quasi-spec. Because if what the cop is saying is true, and he was where he wasn't supposed to be, like, on part of the road trying to be parked, then it makes sense for them to pull him over, and that's a reasonable articulable suspicion to pull him over and identify him. If it didn't happen, then I would agree with the SOBSIT, not on the SOBSIT stuff, but then there wouldn't necessarily be a reasonable articulable suspicion. In this case, I'm more willing to believe the cop, honestly.
I have not. He's been searching this vehicle the whole time, and I watch you looking at him saying, "Hey, do we got anything yet? You don't have anything yet. There's no probable cause."
I would agree that they're fishing. I think they're now fishing because they're pissed off.
I understand, but he's been searching this car up and down, left and right. I already
don't know what you have in here, okay?
Okay, you shouldn't. You don't have to know.
You have to know. If you have a gun in this car, absolutely.
I mean, do people have?
Because my priority is my guys and making sure my guys are safe, just like you guys are safe.
But I'm a member of the public right now, right? And you're scaring me. You're putting me in a huge amount of duress, especially my. This is not even my passenger. It's my guest of the private conveyance. And, you know, I just don't understand.
Not a passenger, they're my guest. That's interesting.
This is
not heard that one before.
This vehicle's legal. It's not out on Bolo. It's not a stolen vehicle. You guys haven't... There's no reason for you to block me in like this. This is illegal. Oh, man. This is illegal entertainment. I need to speak to the supervisor, please.
No one's blocking you, sir. If you were to reverse right now, you can take off.
I'm not... I mean, come on. You're not blocking me?
No.
Look what she said, you guys. She's not blocking me.
We're in front, absolutely.
The cops are acting weird as shit here.
Why did you put your vehicle
Like, he's a sovereign citizen, and he's ideologically wrong, but the cops are also acting bizarre. Am I crazy? Like, this feels very weird for a sovereign citizen encounter. It has such a different vibe, and I don't know why.
Turn my vehicle then.
So we can see inside.
We can see inside.
So we can see inside.
Absolutely. It's a safety thing, sir.
Well, he's been inside this vehicle for the last half hour, scoping it very hard.
Getting a double wrong situation? Maybe. Because, like, the cops are acting so weird and, like, not at all confident in their position. Like, normally when the cops have an actual reasonable articulable suspicion that they have evidence of, they are very clear and very confident, and they're like, no, you're wrong. But here the cops almost feel like they're trying to mitigate something. Like, I don't know what's going on, but they're acting sus.
Last half hour. That's my partner.
However long he's been here, he's been scoping the vehicle. Am I being detained still?
Yes.
Under what crime?
Until we can get identification.
It doesn't matter if the cops are wrong. Following basic laws still a good idea. At this point, they have no idea why he's acting like that. I don't disagree with that either. If I were this guy, I would have handed over my license and insurance and stuff. Because I'm not going to fucking interact with cops more than I have to, and that's required, you know? He's just extending the stop, but they're also acting weird.
Okay? We have every right to get identification.
But why? Why are you...
No, ZVXCVXCZ. I think he has a SOBSIT because he used, like, traveling earlier instead of driving and stuff. He was using the nomenclature.
Requesting... When you know you have to have articulable RAS, you have to have a reasonable articulable suspicion before you can ask someone for ID, identification, or you're violating my rights to be protecting my person, my personal effects.
So what? You're citing all kinds of laws and case laws and...
Yeah, because...
Okay, so
and you're right. Look, you're right.
Tell me, educate me then.
Let me
The cop is incredibly non-confident, too.
Why, though? Yeah, but you guys are law enforcement. And I'm not trying to be rude, but you're law enforcement, and you took an oath for the Constitution to protect the people.
Well,
you took an oath. You all took an oath.
Tell us what we're doing is wrong, so I'd
Probably
like...
thinks having a passenger makes it commercial. That would make sense. I mean, it's
No,
not
where you're-
true, but I see from a SOBSIT nonsense view how he would think that.
Getting your information from.
Because all I did was pull over to the side of the road to make sure everything's okay,
Yes.
and make sure that I'm still safe to continue on to travel down the roadways. and I'm being blocked in under no felony stop. I have 5, 6 cops surrounding my vehicle. He has been looking through my vehicle up and down for reasonable suspicion.
This is not a felony stop, sir.
Okay, it looks like one.
Well, it's not.
I mean, how
If this was a
how?
felony stop, we would be in our cars behind you with our guns out, giving you commands from the outside. This is not a felony stop.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Plot twist, she's a fake cop. Didn't you used to follow one of these back then? Jeremy DeWitt. Yes, I've not caught up with him recently. Wonder if he's in prison.
like I said, I'm not stepping out of my vehicle. I'm losing a lot of.
Educating us, right? And I'm also trying to educate you, right?
Okay.
Okay. We're trying to figure out a win-win for both of us, okay?
A win-win.
We don't want this to escalate. You don't want this to escalate.
I don't want it to escalate. You guys are scaring me right now. Look at you guys.
You're scaring us, quite frankly.
Why?
What you're acting, sir.
What am I acting? How am I acting? I'm asserting my rights, and that's another thing. Look, you guys can't. Uncooperative. I'm not. Hold on.
You're failing to provide identification, which tells us that there's something else going on.
There's nothing going on. Hold on.
But why aren't we cooperating and complying?
Because it's just no. Well, it's not that. It's just you guys are violating my rights. I mean, look.
Oh, you have your paper. Okay.
I mean, look here. Look. Even this one. Here's a ticket from Judge Lawrence down in Montezuma County. Right? No, I can have you guys show it. Look, this is another court case that I won from Montezuma County. This is Judge Lawrence dismissing the case against me for the same. Well, this is for
a case being dismissed doesn't mean you won.
For no. All I'm saying is you guys are escalating. Look at you. You're doing too much, you guys. I've not done nothing wrong.
Do you mind if you hold it up closer to me? So
Someone who can read
here,
says 85% of this is superfluous, just repeating in circles over and over again. Welcome to human communication. This is how I feel in every conversation I listen to other people have.
Because I cannot see it, sir. I'm sorry.
Right there. That nether one, right there. And Miranda versus Arizona. Can you guys stop checking my door handle? Look, the claim and exercise of a constitutional right. If I'm claiming
peanut M&Ms, that's good.
And exercising the
peanut M&Ms and a lighter. This guy's a stoner.
Constitutional right, it cannot be converted into a crime. You guys are trying to convert it into a crime, and what you're saying is I'm uncooperative. And I
like the POV where you can see him smoking the cigarette.
Do you mind if I take it?
No, I don't. I do mind because it's just violating my rights. That's all. I don't.
What about the other one? Because you said that this got dismissed.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I see that one?
Because it's sad because yeah, I do mind because it feels like you're trying to fish for something else on there. That's all. I know. Look, I'm just trying to let you guys know I've done nothing wrong. I'm a businessman. I'm driving late because it's easier to drive at night, right? And furthermore, I don't want to have you guys lose your Well, you don't have qualified immunity.
So let me just kind of explain something.
I'm just yes, sir.
If you're willing to listen.
I am.
So recently we had a deputy up in Cortez get shot by somebody.
Officer Moran. I knew Officer Moran. Officer Moran was good with me. No, I get it. I get it.
Every time we make contact with someone, we identify him because he got shot. They didn't even know who did it. Because he didn't get nobody.
I was there. I was in that town. Yeah.
Something simple.
And that's what I just showed you. I showed you the court paper for Montezuma.
Something simple. I would have been like, oh, I would just let them know that I'm with you.
I know, but all I'm saying though is you guys are trained. No, I get you. But I'm just trying to assert my rights though. That's all I'm trying to do. And I know it's hard for folks to do that because it upsets you guys.
He's fishing for an ID off that dismissal, yeah. And I'm sure it won't be that hard to find. She can search his name stuff in the system.
Well, no one's upset about this, sir. What's upsetting to me is that this whole situation is escalated because of...
No, don't say from me. Yes, I've done nothing wrong though. How though? But what have I done wrong? You're blocking my car.
Okay.
I'm not complying. No. I know, but that's not. But I'm asserting my rights.
Why we're here is because you're not identifying yourself.
I know because I'm asserting my rights.
If you just identified yourself,
I know, but you're asking me to. But you're asking me to violate my rights. So, and because of that, that's what I'm trying to let you know that I'm. That's why I'm not comfortable with it, because you're violating my rights. Look, if you want to check the VIN number on the vehicle, go right ahead and see if it's stolen. I don't care what you guys do.
I'm not checking to see if it's stolen.
I've told. What are you guys? You're escalating it. Why?
Because we need to get identification on you, sir.
Why?
So we're gonna call Montezuma so that way we can ask them who you were.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And again, I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not trying to be disrespectful to you guys. I appreciate your job. I used to talk to Officer Moran all the time. Me and Officer Moran were really good. It was a very sad situation.
I somehow doubt that.
As a matter of fact.
Moran all the time. You think he'd appreciate you treating us like this?
How am I treating you? All I'm doing is asserting my rights. Did you take an oath for the Constitution when you got that badge? You did. So what are you violating my rights for? I have done nothing wrong. It's illegal detainment. Absolutely. It is. You guys know it is. It is. You have no reasonable articulable suspicion that I have committed a crime, about to commit a crime, or going to commit a crime. And I'm just agitated because I'm trying to assert my rights. And you guys, instead of saying, okay, sir, you're not even listening. I'm just agitated. It's illegal. I just know my rights and it's illegal.
But what we'd like to do.
I'm not. You guys.
And this is the route this is gonna go. Okay.
You guys
See you later, Amber Pretzels.
are not in threat of your life.
What we'd like to do is we'd like to get your identification and kick you loose. Okay. Because if not, what we're gonna do is we're gonna be able to get it through Montezuma with the pictures I just took of you and your buddy.
Okay.
And then you're gonna get a warrant out for your arrest for obstruction because you're not complying with our orders. Okay?
So now you're threatening me with an arrest?
No, sir.
With a warrant?
You will, if you don't give us.
Please be careful what you're saying, though. This is recorded.
I'm telling you exactly what will happen.
I understand. I'm not.
Okay?
All right.
So, and our buddy cams are recording.
All right.
All right. We'd like to just get you identified and let you go.
Okay.
That is all that we have been trying to do.
And I understand. And the only reason why
you're not making it any. You're not
I know.
making it easy for yourself or for us. Okay?
I get that. But here's what.
Doing what you're doing is considered obstruction.
It's not. But here's what you're doing.
Just check engine lights on, by the way. He probably wants to get that looked at.
The claim and the exercise of a constitutional right cannot be converted into a crime. That is Miranda versus Arizona. That's exactly what you're doing. I know, but you're telling me that I'm being uncooperative. I'm not.
I wonder if he even have his driver's license.
Asserting my rights, and you're turning it into a crime. You just threatened me with a warrant.
You're not. It's not a threat, sir. It will happen.
I understand, but that's what I'm saying. That's against the law.
Okay.
That's all.
All right.
And I'll give you guys ID. It's fine.
Okay, then give us your ID.
But
and we'll let you go.
but I'm gonna do this under duress.
Get your ID so we can run you, and we will let you go. That is my promise to you.
I need everyone's card, please. Please.
More than happy to
And
do
before I go, no, you have me blocked in. Okay. And I'm not trying to be rude again. You have me blocked in on the.
Yeah, I caught the "it's not a threat, it will happen" thing. Do cops think it's not a threat if you just avoid calling it that? Like, I get that they gotta threaten people sometimes to, like, get them to comply, but to pretend a threat's not a threat is kind of fucking hilarious. Like, don't do the thing and pretend you're not doing the thing. Like, if you're gonna say the ends justify the means, that I need to threaten this guy to get him to comply, then you should have to cope with the fact that you're threatening someone. It's fine in this context, I would argue, but you should still be aware of what you're doing.
A felony type of situation. I'm in duress right now, so I'm being for. Let me ask you this though: if I was not to give you my identification and still asserted my rights for it not to be broken, am I going to be under arrest?
You will get a warrant out for your arrest for obstruction.
So you would still let me go, but I'd have a warrant later.
Absolutely.
That doesn't make sense.
No, it makes absolute sense. Because we would do this with anybody else.
Okay.
Okay?
Well, look. So under duress, I'm going to provide you under duress of.
Does a threat require malicious intent? Is a threat not just any implication of force against you or something negative happening to you if you don't comply?
A threat of arrest and warrant.
I guess I wasn't thinking it so much in a legal sense as I was in the colloquial sense of what a threat means.
I have to show you this identification.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
You have your
I would
ID?
not be lying to you.
Okay. Before I give you these IDs, I would like to have everyone's card, please.
Absolutely.
That's all.
We will round
And
you
I'll
up right now for you.
and I'll wait for those to come through the window. And when those come through the window, I'll give you guys these IDs.
Can you get mine up for me, please? Thank you.
It's an ultimatum. At minimum, can we put it there? It's an ultimatum that implies If you don't do this, then there is a threat of some action that you do not want. It's an ultimatum, at minimum.
You on camera, for the record, for everyone, you want my IDs exactly for what? What is this going to show you?
To be able to identify you as the driver and then let you go.
Okay.
That's it. We're in contact with you for a reason. We have to be able to identify you.
He said he was going to ticket me.
We're not ticketing you, sir.
Okay.
We're letting you go. Okay? All we're wanting to do is identify
I do want to thank you, though. Can I thank you guys for not putting those lights all in my eyes all the time? I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right. So
that's annoying.
Once I get the cards, it's fine. Gathered up. I'll go ahead and do that for you.
Okay.
Why have we been here for 30 fucking minutes?
I'm just turning off my heater.
You're okay. Here you go, sir.
There are all your cards.
Thank you, sir.
Good?
Yeah. I'm not a violent person. I'm not trying to make any threats or anything. I'm not. You guys are not in danger. Trust me. I literally pulled over just to make sure that I'm safe on the road for other motorists. Okay. That's all I've done. Here's the 2 IDs.
I appreciate it.
You guys have 20 minutes. This is over 20 minutes, though.
It'll take us 2 seconds.
I know, but this is over the amount of traffic stop.
As soon as they're doing it right now, we'll give you your IDs back and let you on your way.
Okay.
Okay? I appreciate your cooperation. Thank you, sir.
And sorry, what was your name again?
Deputy Brown.
Deputy Brown.
Yes, sir. Okay?
Yeah.
I understand what you're trying to exercise. I completely understand.
That's all I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to be upset and rude to you guys. I'm not.
And do you mind if you roll it down just a little bit so I'm not yelling at you? Because I feel like I'm yelling and I hate yelling. I do. I hate yelling. So I understand that you're trying to exercise your rights,
giggle.
okay? I really do. And I appreciate you for wanting to...
He giggles like, am I crazy? He giggles like Beavis and Butthead. Like, I'm not trying to insult him. I'm just legitimately, it's the first thing that comes to mind is the... It's terrible.
To exercise your rights.
I know, but real quickly, the IDs is not going to put you in any more safe or concern of what your officer safety. I don't.
So just think about what Deputy Ball was saying with Officer Moran, right? I knew him too. Okay.
Yeah.
I know a lot of.
I know Officer Moran. Hey, look at the front up there. You see that up there? The blue line flag up there.
Here's another one, sir.
Oh, thank you. Do you guys see that flag up there? Look, I respect. See that blue line flag? I respect your guys' jobs, man. I don't. You know, I'm not.
We especially at nighttime, man. With it being dark.
Yeah.
We don't know who we're.
I know, and that's the thing is I'm just driving at night just to go because cars are too much, right? I'm driving at night. I work at a night graveyard shift, right? And so it's easier to travel at night. Everybody would know that, right? And I was just pulling to the side of the road. He stopped me for an assist. Right. But then he put on his emergency lights. I say, what's the emergency? What are you doing? Well, and when my rights get violated, that's what I don't appreciate.
We have our lights on, sir. That's in our policy. We have to turn our lights on.
I know, but block my car?
So the reason why we're parked like this is to be able to have our lights on here.
Is the way that you're parked is designed to block me?
No, sir.
From taking off?
No, sir.
It's not.
I even told my partner that because we cannot legally block. This is not blocking. You can still get out.
But why? Okay, it's fine.
You can still get out, okay?
I'm not even worried about that.
What I'm trying to explain to you is I don't know if you know this, but Highway 160, unfortunately, is a very bad highway for drug distribution, okay?
Yeah, well, that's...
So we are constantly checking to make sure we're doing
I'm glad you guys are doing that.
To keep the community safe,
Absolutely,
right?
absolutely.
So when we come in contact with anybody, we have to identify. That is part of Senate Bill 217.
Right.
That is also part of our jobs, right? Anytime we're in contact with somebody, all right? We have to be able to identify who you are.
Okay. That's fine. I just think it's against the law, though, because of the fact that you need to have reasonable articulable suspicion. You need to articulate the facts that I've committed a crime, about to commit a crime, or have committed a crime before you can ask for identification. But I've done nothing wrong. He stopped me for an assist because I pulled over to the side of the road.
So even if we have say you're on the road, say you're walking on the road,
okay,
right? And we can articulate that it's what?
But I want to know.
2 in the morning, right?
Okay.
And you're walking.
What's on the nails? Very chipped nail polish. I need to redo them.
And it's weird that someone's walking at nighttime, right? We can articulate.
Why is that weird?
Because this is not normally when somebody would be out and about walking, right? Okay. So we can articulate that. Terry versus Ohio. Okay?
Yeah.
We can articulate that something's going on. Therefore, we can have a consensual contact. If somebody wants to say, nope, I'm not talking to you, okay, that's it. But we still have to at least try to obtain identification. And that's all that we really ask for.
Okay, but look, I'm still being
It's
surrounded.
kind of funny to me that her example is just a person walking at night.
Am I free to go, please?
That's suspicious.
We're just waiting for his thing. Right?
All right, man. I don't know. Maybe some people just want to walk at night.
Okay,
Kevin,
I'm not trying to. Yes, sir.
Kevin, they're saying that your license is eligible right now, but not valid, so you may need to contact the DMV.
That's
Maybe
ridiculous.
some of these tickets went through or something.
Okay, no,
So it's not even a valid driver's license.
they're
Right now,
dismissed.
You shouldn't even be driving.
No, I mean, come on now.
Yeah,
It's valid, dude.
Means you're eligible for a license.
H-Bird says, when she said Terry versus Ohio, I expected Chili to appear out of a cloud of smoke and call her a piggy.
And not.
But if I'm eligible, this says Colorado license right there.
They may have revoked it for some reason. I don't know.
Well, I mean, that's neither here nor there. But I'm still trying to cooperate, and I'm not being uncooperative. I'm just trying to assert my rights. That you cannot convert that into a crime. But all this right here, you're scaring me. Absolutely, hands down, scaring me.
And I hear you, sir. I do. I hear you. Okay.
I'm not trying to do nothing wrong.
But you need to hear us out too. I hear you.
Yeah, but you guys are surrounding me and acting like I'm a felon. It's crazy.
No one said that you're a felon.
I know, but this is. I'm not doing anything wrong. That's all. And I'm not trying to assert my rights because I'm doing something wrong.
Right. Well, no one's saying that you're a felon, okay?
Don't hit a kid or anything, man. You're not even eligible to drive right now, man.
So we appreciate you for giving us your identification.
Okay.
So we're gonna let you go now, okay?
Okay.
Like I promised.
And no warrant?
No warrant.
Jesus, what a fucking ordeal. Would have taken 5 seconds. Okay, moving on.
Fraud with
Here is someone trying to explain mortgages. They think they're a fraud. This is similar to what Cataspinda believes, I assume.
this mortgage shit is. Bro, they got a system that's so cold. They got a system called MERS, which is supposed to be
Mr. Peach says, walking on a highway at night is weird in a lot of places because of no streetlights or sidewalks. Poor people, like, I don't know, maybe I'm crazy and maybe I grew up around different people, but like sometimes people just go places at night because they're poor and they need to go somewhere, or they want to go somewhere, they just want to go for a walk. Like an actual highway, I guess I get that that's weird. Undying says, so one night I'm out listening to music on my headphones, bobbing my head. This guy's doing the same thing towards me. We had a dance off and went our own way. We said nothing. Still not okay for the cops to ask me what.
mortgage electronic registration system, and what that is, that's the servicer. That's the person that just collects in the money and pays it out to the investors that buy the fraudulent note. Because what's supposed to happen in the mortgage, this is how a true mortgage is supposed to happen. You come to me for a home, I need to put that money in your account. You go pay that home off, now you owe me, right? So you wrote a promissory note with me or a financial statement, and we put it on the public side to let them know I got a lien on you, okay? And it's on, everything's recorded. I'm holding on to it until you pay me back. But this is what the banks do. The banks get you, right at this note, they take that note, they don't even, you don't even want to sign it. They'll take it, flip it over the back, endorse it, pay to the order of. Then, now that's worth $250,000, and they'll tell the investors, okay, this is worth $250. Give me $100,000, and you can take the $150,000 over 30 years. Oh, bet that. So I get cash flow. Yep, you get cash flow with 6%, 7% interest. Boom. So they buy it, give the dude $100,000. Now he just got $100,000 off something you signed, and he didn't give you anything. It's a
Again, this misunderstanding of like promissory notes and why they have value. The reason it has value is not just because it's a piece of paper you signed, it's what that piece of paper represents. It's the fact that you owe a debt to an entity that is the bank or whatever, whoever gave you the loan, worth X amount, and you are promising to pay that amount back. That's the value, is that it is a debt. And debts can be bought and sold between individuals, between organizations, between companies. It's not the piece of paper. It's what the piece of paper represents. Again, sovereign citizens have this weird thing where they get hyper-focused on the literal, and they will just go, oh, so the piece of paper's worth money. No, it's that the piece of paper represents an agreement that you entered into in which you are going to pay money to people.
false conception because you got that property, but even on the property there's a thing called the warranty deed. Typically the warranty deed say you got the property for $10. from the person that was giving you the home. But the bank's name ain't on there. The bank never has any money to lend. They're lending on false promises and hopes. they got these securities, alleged securities set up for these investors, thinking that they
alleged securities. They are securities. Banks and other financial institutions will bundle together a variety of loans of similar types, like mortgages, into packages that can be sold to investors.
they legit when they not legit. So now the homeowner showing up for this home, the bank then already had stuff set up before he came in there. So as soon as they came and sign over them documents, the bank take that document, boom, they go get some money released on the strength of your signature. They got paid multiple times. They got paid with credit and they got paid with a promissory note. They pulled my credit in the beginning. Remember we said that? And they got paid with the application.
Nothing in your paperwork says you paid $10 for your house. Yeah, I don't know where he's getting that from.
The application released the funds. Then they got me in the room and I signed over a promissory note. That was a check. Remember when I started, I said these are nothing more than checks. Paid to the order of the sum of, boom, where? They take that to the bank. What did I say they went? They got 10 times the amount of credit. So they got paid again. That's the second time they got paid. Then they left the bank, went to the investors, sold it with a bunch of other promissory notes for the low. Boom, they got paid again. Then the whole time they got you confused, us confused, thinking that we still owe them. So now we signed up for monthly payments. Boom, they're getting paid again. And they never came off anything to begin with. We've already shown you they done got paid full time. So once again, who paid? What was free? Only difference was I seen, hold on, man, nah, hell, this shit is bullshit. I don't fucking know you. I proved it, I fucking know you did. Till you can prove it, I'll let you later. The deed of trust.
Karina says deeds in Oklahoma don't disclose the price, but instead say $10 and other valuable consideration. Interesting. I wonder if that's where he's pulling it from.
They got you stuck and controlled by that because in that document, you gave what they call transfer of rights in the property in there. And that's called confessed judgment. Thing about a confessed judgment is it's a true process, but it has to be taking place with a judge present. The judge has to be present when a confessed judgment is done. That's not happening at mortgage closings. There's no judge there. They got an attorney on title for the paperwork, but hell, he's not even present. He wasn't present in mine. None of the ones I've closed on, no attorney was there, just the notary. Notary just verifying that you signed the paperwork and she looked at your ID and it was you. Right? That's all her job is, to make sure you sign. So her job is not to read and tell.
Wow, finally a sovereign citizen that understands the role of a notary. It's a miracle.
Nobody's job. They technically supposed to give you 3 days to take the paperwork home, but who does that? I've never heard of that. That's the cold part. 3 days to take that paper home, so you can have what they call something with the right of rescission or the buyer's remorse. And they make you put you in a situation, sign here, sign here, sign here, sign here. Then oh yeah, you got a new home. I mean, they fluff it up. Now, don't get me wrong. A lot of people sitting around this table, they don't know what's going on. They're conditioned. They're just as messed up as we all are because they have a job. Because a lot of the finagling that's happening on the back end, once they send that stuff in, they're going for the next closing. They're not following the paper trail to see what's really happening with that paperwork. Then they're separating stuff. Some things are getting notarized. Some things are not getting notarized. Why are we picking and choosing what we notarize? Think about that. Why would they pick and choose what to notarize and they don't notarize the promissory note? That's the most important piece of this puzzle because that's what's creating all the revenue and it's unnotarized. So no notary watched you sign that note. You're the only person signing it. The bank don't sign. So how is it enforceable? But people sleep on a notary.
Because you signed a mortgage.
Not realizing a notary is a legal practitioner. So her being a legal practitioner, when she signed off on things, can't nobody overthrow her signature, not even the Supreme Court ruling, because she is an elected official of them.
What do you mean overthrow her signature?
So you involve her, and now you're not even in the court system because you took it out by involving her, but now you can bring it to the public side by filing all these documents with the court and letting them know what the situation is, and this is the documented proof. Now you have leverage, you have proof, you have evidence of what you said happened, and if you can prove your injustice or your injury, you can get remedy from that.
I'm gonna be honest, he's completely lost me. I have no idea what the fuck he's talking about. He's completely lost me after the whole notary thing. I feel like he completely switched gears. I don't know what he's talking about.
You see, but this is what the power of a notary. So they can sign off on these documents. So even with the mortgage, they got a notary there only for certain documents. Why is she not signing off on the promissory note?
It's happening every time.
Bro, this is 90% of the mortgages right now. They are bifurcating, and it's called a process called securitization. And what it is when they go ahead and they take these notes and they bundle them together and they sell them as mortgage-backed securities. Now these documents they're not securitized, meaning when they do stuff the right way and supposed to do it the right way, the stuff has to go through a process, and it's a thing called a REMIC. It's a real estate mortgage investment conduit. Okay. But what that is when they get all these documents, they have to register them and record them with the SEC.
Which is weird, Grimsbane, because he said that. He literally said the notary doesn't make it true. So, like, I don't understand why he's now saying that.
Well, these banks ain't been doing that. They don't do that. They just go show the Federal Reserve, they get that credit, then they just sell them on the back end. So now you're getting tax-free money because it's not recorded that we gave you some money. It's about who's gonna pay this tax. So whenever this commerce is done, it's all about tax. Who's getting hit with the tax. So if you done made a transaction, where's the tax? Right? Because government, we call government, IRS, we call government, but these are private entities, they want their cut. They the biggest pimps. They are the mafia. You're not selling nothing on their turf when they don't get a cut.
Criminals comparing the government to racketeering annoys me. I understand why the comparisons exist materially, but it always makes it feel like criminals and fraudsters are trying to equivocate and be like, well, the government does it, so. And it's like, nah, man. Not the same thing.
And then 9 times out of 10, they'll mention you on this document, but you won't even sign the paperwork. So that document's not complete. But these people record this stuff on public record, and then you go up to the county and ask them for my note, and they'll tell you it's not supposed to be here. Oh, no, they don't record those, baby. Oh, yes, they supposed to. I know they don't, but they supposed to. Why? Because that's part of the transactions. The warranty deed, you got the deed of trust, and the promissory note. Them two got to stay together. If they separate, it's called bifurcated. And now they're null and void because one is dependent on the other. Because this is a system. They've been doing murder since 1997, kinfolk. And they just don't realize it in 2008 that, hold on, this shit ain't right. This is fucking fraudulent. And there's been case issues of previous situations where the judge of the Supreme Court has ruled that the note and the deed cannot separate. So if this is a Supreme Court decision, bro, and
how do people like this get so confident?
Still doing it? What does that really make you think how they feel about it? It's not hard to find. They can pull this shit up online and see that the Supreme Court said these cannot separate, but they're doing it. You can go to the county right now, any property, and ask them to see the note. They'll show you the deed of trust. The note, not there. They'll make mention of it inside it. Where is the note? And it ain't supposed to be the kind where you can't even get the original from the banks. They treat the normal citizens like, you ain't getting no note, punk. Who you think you are? Talking about I better show the note or else. When they buy that one mortgage, they're selling the note, so other people are claiming ownership. It never goes back to the original. The original guy's gone. He's gone in 60 days typically. They done already sold the note. So now it's gonna change ownership. And you'll get a note in the mail telling you need to start paying this guy. But you don't understand, what the fuck? I was paying y'all. Oh no, we sold your note. You sold my note? Then they tell you to your face, we sold your note. The fuck you sell my note? You weren't supposed to sell that. Oh yeah, you signed it on the contract that we could. But what does the law say? What does the law say? And that's the point we miss. We think just because we signed this contract, it was fraudulent because it wasn't 2 signatures. How is it enforceable? But that's the dupe because we're so conditioned. Well, I went in there and signed the paperwork. I got to pay. I got to pay. Even though I didn't know nothing on there, I was signing. I walked in there and that sweet young lady just told me to sign. And then she had it already highlighted for me. And I just signed. I felt that it was wrong. We was in there about an hour and it was a stack of papers this big. This is the conditioning. So now you're conditioned. Now go on out there and keep on paying or we're going to come take it from you. Oh, no, we don't want you to take it from me. So now we're hanging the carrot over your head. I don't
It's a loan. You got to pay it. Yeah.
You got to be quicker than that. That's exactly what we doing, bro.
It's so annoying to me when these people are like, this bank tricked me with the mortgage. It's like, hey, we're not talking about like some balloon payment thing. We're not talking about adjustable rates that you didn't understand. You're straight up saying you just don't think you should have to pay the loan back just cause. That's fucking ridiculous.
Hey, how you doing, sir?
Good. Do you have your license and registration?
Why would I need a license? Why would I need a license and registration?
You're operating a car on a highway.
I just want to let you know, I invoke the right not to be searched, seized, or, you know, yeah. I don't consent to searches and seizures. I know that the airplane is going, I don't consent to searches, seizures, and, you know. I want to show you that the property is registered in the trust.
Okay, good.
And this is the trust papers.
Can I just have that, please?
It's registered. Yeah, it's registered.
Does that attach to the registration?
Yeah, hold on. See, I got all of the case law, traveling, and all of that. I want to show y'all two. Oh, hold on. Sorry about that. For the record, what is y'all names and badge numbers?
Officer O'Brien, how are you?
All right. Just names and badge numbers.
1317, Nassau County. Good, please.
Okay, you.
Apollo 3558.
Okay.
So how come this piece of paper doesn't have a number?
Because this is private property, so it's covered. But upon request, you know, I could show you X, Y, and Z because it's private property.
All right, so you just don't want people.
Yes, it's
illegal to cover up your VIN number like that to obscure it from the cops.
It's not public, it's private property.
No problem.
So, like I said, I got all of this, but I want to show you one thing. Oh, this is from Nassau County. So I just beat all of what you could probably might think about. I mean, you're welcome to see the book.
I do not see the registration.
The registration and everything is in here.
Okay, we'll keep it intact like that.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
What about your identification? You have,
The
like,
only
a
way,
passport card or something?
yeah, I have a passport
That's
card.
fine.
But the only way, I'm only able to provide it as if there was a crime present.
Okay, well, we just pulled you over for infraction.
What was the infraction?
For not having a license plate on the vehicle.
But I showed you the Nassau case, which you can probably label forged or no license plate,
No,
and
I
I
wouldn't
just.
label that for it, so I would
So what would you label it? Because
There's no license plate on the back.
that's a license plate on the back.
4021, no.
Because it's
Not a real license plate. You can't just put anything on there and say it's a license plate. That's not how this works.
connected to the property property of the trust.
Okay, I would still need your identification. A passport's fine, I don't need your license.
But I'm just saying, is it required?
Yes, 100%.
That's what I'm saying. So it has to be in the commission of some type of a crime because traffic infractions are not crimes.
No, it's a violation.
That's what I'm saying. It's a violation, but it's not a crime. And only if there was some type of a violation, I would have to provide the ID.
Correct, that's what you just said, and that's
Yeah,
if there's
but
a violation.
there's no crime being present.
Sure, there is a violation, like I said.
But I have a case law that
I
says.
understand that. I love all your information. This is great.
That's what I'm saying. I got all of the information, and with this ticket, and I just want to let you know that, you know, I have about to have a pending litigation against the same Nassau County officers, and if y'all want to proceed, and this is notice, well, let me show you my other notice. You know,
Got laminated notices. That's lovely. Rayline says, if you can convince yourself that something is true even for a limited time, you can talk with confidence even if you don't truly believe it. If you believe it enough while talking to be convincing to others, it's a good technique for lying in general. That just sounds like the George Costanza. Remember, it's not a lie if you believe it.
doing nothing public, only private.
Okay, totally understandable.
How you end up with Art Vandelay. Damn.
Still need some sort of identification.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Why would I need to provide identification and nothing was, you know, ain't no crimes being committed? That's the only way.
Right, the illegality that's happening is the lack of license plate.
I'm supposed to. The plate matches the trust.
No problem, Harold Elbleman.
The plate matches the trust.
Okay, your license plate.
The license plate.
Is non-passenger.
Fire the song. Thanks for following.
Who is this fine gentleman in the car?
That's a guest.
Looks like a passenger.
That's a guest. A passenger. No, a passenger is when you're driving.
Oh, see, yeah, whoever called the passenger thing earlier, good call. Same thing this person's doing. Is this newer or something? I've never heard a sovereign citizen make this distinction before, and all of a sudden we have 2 in one day.
And if I'm traveling from A to B...
Siren Song, thank you for your Prime subscription. Much appreciated. We're almost to 100 out of 400 for the month. Thank you to everyone who's subscribed or gifted subs.
I have a guest.
Let me ask, sir, is that the guest seat or the passenger?
That's a guest seat. That's a guest seat. Would you say
So what is this seat?
That's a seat.
This seat?
This is for travelers.
This is the driver's seat.
No, this is I'm traveling from A to B. That's all I'm doing.
So this is a
Sir, what does the D on your shifter stand for?
traveler seat. That's the guest seat.
As trustee of the trust.
Which is that in my pamphlet or is that in your book?
That's in the book. As trustee of the trust, I'm just the trustee, and yes.
I'd like to just read it. What page is the guest seat in?
I'm a trustee and my life is a nightmare. Cops keep pulling me over. I don't care.
Guest seat. This is just a guest seat.
I have a good annoying voice for early 2000s pop punk. Truly, I just sound like I'm annoyed with every little thing, and I really don't have a reason to be.
But what page in your articles in your little?
She bought him a skateboard, a rail slide, his knee tore. She traded it for drums at the local pawn shop.
The guest seat on.
Bowling for soup. I liked bowling for soup as a kid.
Is this a guest seat? Only a driver would have a passenger, and I'm not a driver.
Okay. I'm gonna need some sort of identification. That's it, and then we'll
So,
be on our way.
Under threat of arrest,
No,
I would,
didn't say that.
but that's what I'm saying. I'll give it to you under threat of arrest,
Okay.
or some type of coercion.
No, definitely not coercion. That's not my style.
But that's what I'm saying. I would need to have some type of a threat of arrest.
We haven't done anything.
Who's the guy in this book?
That's what I'm saying. I don't consent to you even.
You handed me this.
Yeah, I handed you that because if you're trying to conduct some type of an
The only
investigation.
bowling for soup song you know is 1985. You've probably heard Punk Rock 101. If you've seen Sky High, they also did the Sky High movies version of I'll Melt With You. They did a lot of early 2000s pop punk bullshit. H-Bird says, speaking of bowling for soup, more time has passed between now and the song in 1985 coming out than passed between the song and the actual year 1985. I was actually kind of surprised. I was wondering if, like, 25 years after that or whatever, they would do another song as, like, kind of a thing. But I guess I don't know. Is bowling for soup still together? That feels like the kind of thing where they'd be on some sort of nostalgia reunion tour now. I don't know. You would instead be bowling for Sav. I'm driving, not traveling. The cops can't tell me what to do.
Proof that the car is not stolen. But listen, I'm giving you proof that. But I'm just saying, look, let me show you one more thing. Hello, hey, excuse me, sir. Yep. Record, this is for the record. They don't have permission and they don't have consent. I gave the officers notice that the name has been trademarked and they don't have permission, nor do they have consent.
Now an undercover cop car too got him.
These guys help me practice on them. And I have an injunction in there too. But that's great information though, because
the last episode of Columbo was 4 years after The Matrix came out. Yes, the final episode of Columbo, entitled Columbo Loves the Nightlife, in which he tries to catch a new club owner in LA who murdered his girlfriend and hid her body under the fish tank in the nightclub.
Great. I was hoping you had an extra one for me.
You know what? Just for you, I'm gonna give you an extra.
Yes, really.
I think my
look,
colleagues could really use looking over it.
Yeah.
I didn't see the link earlier, Harold Ebbleman. Look for it. If you haven't seen this one, here's a quick court sob sit. Parole revoked due to meth, but you'll have to skip some annoying commentary as per usual. Start at 1:50 to avoid the intro.
There are no facts to just.
Nice. Thank you. I will watch that in a little bit. You said skip 2. We'll watch that next.
Thank you very much.
Alright.
Alright, so I have your
Alright.
Was it a missing episode or shot in 2004? No, it was shot. They did the original Columbo series in the 70s, and then there was a revival in the 80s and 90s. And he started doing movies again in like the early 2000s. So they did like 3 or 4 of those. So yeah, Columbo. Peter Falk was doing Columbo pretty much as long as he physically could. I think he ended up having problems where as he got older, he ended up struggling with, I think, dementia. Quite sad. But yeah, he did Columbo pretty much until he had to stop. He did Columbo forever.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you guys. Alright.
Columbo went up until Reloaded. Here, I'll show you the first and last appearances of Columbo real quick. People seem to care. First appearance of Columbo, which was in the movie. They did a TV movie for the first episode of Columbo, Prescription Murder. So this is Columbo in oh, that's poor. Jesus, that's bad quality. I just need literally a shot. That's... oh, here he is. So this is Columbo in Prescription Murder, which I believe was in 1968. And then Columbo Loves the Nightlife, which was from the early 2000s.
What?
This is what he looks like. So, yeah, the Columbo series literally covers Columbo's entire career, basically. From when he's fresh to being a lieutenant, all the way to the end of Peter Falk's life, basically. Green guy with a $5 tip says, just a specimen can be dissected for study. A traffic stop that the cop or driver got killed can be studied to help prevent deaths of either. In some, in the Navy, we got taught those things. The things the cops do in your videos are those things we got taught. Have I seen the new episodes of Poker Face? Not yet. I really do like Poker Face, though. If you haven't seen Poker Face, it's the same formula as Columbo, basically.
Let me know in the comments, and let's dive in.
All right. Ms. Clark, you've heard the announcement of your attorney. Is that what you want to do? Admit to the violations?
No, actually, I'm going to make a motion for my attorney to withdraw. I got this myself.
Oh, okay. What's the reason for that?
I just want to represent myself.
Okay. All right. Well, somebody give her a waiver of attorney form. Okay. It's muted for some reason. All right. Well, I've already gone over these rights with you, so you should understand them, but you have the right to hire your own attorney. If you can't afford to hire an attorney, I've already appointed one. You qualified. You do have the right to represent yourself as well. And that's what you want to do today?
Yes, sir.
All right. If you want to waive your right to an attorney, when we do this, you have to follow the rules of procedure and evidence, just as if you're an attorney. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right. Has anyone promised you anything or threatened with anything to get you to waive your right to an attorney?
No, sir.
Natasha Lyonne would make a great Columbo. Honestly, she's basically already playing Columbo in Poker Face. If you compare her like voice and like affect she's doing to Columbo, it's very similar. And they're both owned by NBC, I think. I'm not joking when I say I really thought they were going to reveal at some point that she was like Columbo's granddaughter or something. Like, the show is just Columbo, and I mean that as a compliment, not as a knock on the show. Like, I've never seen a show do Columbo as well as Columbo, but Poker Face does.
All right. Looks like you've already signed it and sent it in here. Did you understand this form you signed?
Yes, sir.
I'll accept your waiver and allow you to represent yourself. All right. Are you wanting to stipulate to the violations, or do you want a contested hearing?
I'm going to contest it.
All right. Mr. Hollis here.
Yes, Judge, I can grab him real quick.
Okay. Okay, state has the burden. Any opening statement, Mr. Marcinski?
No, sir. Thank you.
All right, Ms. Clark, any opening statement?
Yeah, definitely add it to your list. If you're a fan of detective shows, you gotta watch Poker Face. It's one of the best procedural detective shows. And in fairness, she's not like a cop. She's not a detective in that sense, but she solves crimes every episode. It's one of the best in a long time.
No.
All right. State may call this first witness.
Thank you, sir. The state would call Court Service Officer Christopher Hollis. Sir, will you please state your name for the record?
Chris Hollis. I'm a court services officer.
In that job occupation, were you assigned the supervision of a Miss Ashley Clark?
Well, she just completely ruined her only shot at making yourself mind sulking this thing.
Sentence.
The hearing.
That supervision being for an endangering a child underlying 12-month sentence.
That is correct.
On May 18th of this year, 2023, did you test Miss Clark for the presence of drugs?
Yeah, Murder, She Wrote's also good. The same people that created Columbo created Murder, She Wrote. I'd recommend it. Murder, She Wrote's actually coming out on Blu-ray soon for the first time, which is nice.
Yes.
And what was
Sorry, by the way, if I seem a little unfocused. I am getting a terrible headache.
the result of that UA sample from Miss Clark?
It was positive for methamphetamine.
So her UA was positive for methamphetamines.
That's a shame. You don't want to do that. Don't do meth. That's not good for you.
And she also, in response to that positive UA test, signed in a statement of admission of using methamphetamines?
That's correct.
Did you order her to report on June 2nd, 2023?
I did.
And did she appear on that day?
She did not.
Has she appeared or reported to you since that time?
Of Murder, She Wrote on DVD? Me too. I'm excited to trade in the DVD sets because the DVD sets are huge. There's like 8 seasons of that show. The Blu-rays will hopefully be a little more compact.
No.
Sometime after May 24th of 2023, were you advised by local authorities of her being arrested for a new crime?
Yes. And I
Is it really 12 seasons? You know what? You're right. I think I'm thinking of Columbo that had 8 seasons or 7 seasons or something.
I received that. And
the worst episode of Murder, She Wrote is the episode of Murder, She Wrote where it's a backdoor pilot for another mystery show based on the book series Jessica Fletcher writes in Murder, She Wrote. Pretty bad.
Apparently
was Howie Mandel the detective in that, or was it just a guy that looked like Howie Mandel? I don't remember.
She has new charges.
To your knowledge, or
the backdoor pilot,
to the notes, did Miss Clark ever report that negative law enforcement contact with your office?
No, she did not.
That will be my questions for Mr. Hollis at this time, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, Ms. Clark, do you have any questions for Mr. Hollis?
No.
All right. Do you have any further evidence or witnesses, Mr. Marcinski?
Not at this time, Your Honor. I do not.
All right. Ms. Clark, you have time to, now it's your turn to present any evidence if you want to. Do you wish to present any evidence?
You hate backdoor pilots? See, I love backdoor. Let me be clear. I don't like backdoor pilots when I'm in the middle of the show and one pops up, but in isolation, I find them fascinating. Like, there's multiple backdoor pilots in the Sabrina the Teenage Witch series from the 90s, and I find those episodes so fascinating. They also did some of that in Married with Children. They had a couple episodes that were backdoor pilots. Just a weird look into a show that never was. Very strange.
Yeah.
Right now, I see no evidence. This has the needed personal
Not an
subject matter
argument. I'm asking
jurisdiction.
if you want to present any evidence. Do you want to present any evidence?
No.
No? Okay.
Oh.
Well then, closing argument, Mr. Morsinski.
Your Honor, at this time, the state believes it is shown by a preponderance of the evidence that Ms. Clark is in violation of her probation and conditions of probation imposed by the court therein. The state's going to ask that you find that she is in violation of that probation.
This girl absolutely should have gotten an attorney.
Is this person using an AI photo as their photo? Like, am I crazy? That looks a little bit AI, right?
To defend her. Just regular. She's in outfight right now.
Out that this is
Back into this chaos and watch how much worse it can get.
the state would point out that this is a misdemeanor probation.
Bosch Legacy final episode as backdoor pilot into a spinoff. Star Trek Lower Decks felt the same. The last season of Lower Decks had a couple episodes that felt like backdoor pilots, which, like, kind of weird to waste episodes in a last season already working on new shows. Whatever.
For endangering a child. Therefore, Ms. Clark is entitled to no
The finale felt like a backdoor pilot.
graduated sanctions, intermediate sanctions, or other relief set forth by the legislature on felony probations. Due to the litany of violations, the continued drug use, the failure to follow through with her treatment requirements, the state believes that she's shown that she's not amenable to probation and would recommend the court revoke and remand her to serve her underlying sentence.
All right, Ms. Clark, closing argument.
There are no facts to dispute before this court. I see no evidence that has the needed personal subject matter jurisdiction. The state is a fictitious plaintiff.
The state is a fictitious plaintiff. Did the meth tell you that?
The state of isn't here to testify. No injured man or woman is present before this court to provide firsthand knowledge. I am acting as surety for the named principal to contest jurisdiction. I am aware this is a taxable event and an excise tax is owed.
This is a taxable event? Getting caught doing meth. A taxable event.
And I want to be in compliance with the IRS code.
Okay.
Does the IRS code say you can't do meth? I don't know. I don't think that's their code.
It'll be the order and judgment of this court. Well, first of all, I'll make my findings. The state's shown by preponderance of the evidence that you violated probation in this case using.
Altered Undying says there's a backdoor pilot in the last episode of Star Wars The Clone Wars. I love it because I saw it when it came out and called it. One friend even said I was overthinking it. Interesting.
Methamphetamine around the 18th, as evidenced by the 18th of May this year, as evidenced by the positive UA and the admission. Also find that you failed to report in violation of probation as alleged. That would be the June 2nd, 2023 date. You failed to successfully complete outpatient treatment at Summer Mental Health as ordered by the court. So I find you violated probation there as well. You also failed to report law enforcement contact within the business day in violation of the orders of probation. You have violated it does in a very substantial way. I will go ahead. It appears as if probation will be a waste of time in this matter, so I will revoke and remand you to serve your sentence, take her into custody.
All right. $1,200 every minute I'm in jail.
That request is.
What did she say?
All right. $1,200 every minute I'm in jail.
That
I didn't understand anything she said.
request is absolutely lost her mind. Drug use is one of those kids whole specific about drop.
That's just the end. Don't do drugs, kids. Certainly not the meth ones. $1,200 a minute? Is that what she said? $1,200 a minute every minute she's in jail. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? I'd go to jail if I made $1,200 a minute. I'd go just about anywhere for $1,200 a minute. Anyway, I think I gotta end a little early today. I'm not feeling good. And I hope you don't hate me for this, but I think I'm gonna move the Patreon and YouTube member thing to Thursday evening. Because I have a headache that's really, really kicking my butt. Not a fun way. I've been getting headaches lately. Good. Or if I need to drink more water, or maybe stop staring directly into this ring light every single day for 3 hours. One or the other. Oh. All right. Anyway, let's see who we're gonna raid on Twitch. Like I said, we'll do the patron and YouTube member thing Thursday evening. I'm sorry. We will raid. Cooker 20. We'll raid Cooker 28, who's looking at weird conspiracy theorists. All right, have a good night. I do have a doctor's appointment coming up, so that's good. It's my first doctor's appointment in quite a while for an actual doctor, because we have insurance. Anyway, have a good night, everyone. I'll see you, tomorrow's Monday, so not tomorrow. Tuesday, Tuesday I also work really late. So we're probably not having tinfoil till Wednesday. So I'll see you on Wednesday for tinfoil, everyone. I'll see you then. Have a great night.